underdog role. They would not accept an underdog role.
Almost making the catch. He did make the catch. He one-handed it. Intercepted. Marshall picks it up. Touchdown. The big surprise of the season is Oklahoma. Everybody asks, are they for real? Advantage, Stoops and Sooners.
And he has fumbled the ball, and the Sooners have it, I believe. Touchdown!
Who could have imagined this?
You know who I am. You know who I am. I'm Superman. You know who I am. I'm Superman. You know who I am. You know who I am. I'm Superman.
Welcome to Memorial Stadium in Owen Field. This is Oklahoma football.
It's a cool September evening in Norman with another sellout crowd on hand at Oklahoma to greet their heroes. From Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Oklahoma in Norman, Fox Sports Net Southwest presents Oklahoma Sooner football. This evening, the University of North Texas Eagles face the defending national champion, Oklahoma Sooners. Hi everyone, Bill Land along with Gary Reasons and the Sooners, rated number 3 in the nation, doing just fine, thank you, at 2-0 as they entertain UNT tonight. To be very honest with you, it should be a mismatch, Gary. These two teams are at opposite ends of the spectrum.
Well, Daryl Dickey brings his North Texas Eagles in here being very realistic about how well they can compete with the defending national champions, and I tell you, the Sooners are not disappointing this season, Bill.
Both these teams hoping to get a little bit better tonight regardless of the outcome. For Oklahoma, they are improving with each outing, and particularly in the last game against the Air Force Academy, the running game exploded, particularly in the name of Quentin Griffin.
Well, Quentin Griffin did exactly what this offense needs. When they pass the ball as much as Oklahoma does, to have a running game to go with it, that is just exactly what you need. Quentin Griffin exploded in the second half, averaged 7.7 yards for the game. I tell you, that's exactly what that offense needs.
The Sooners, though, are dynamite on both sides of the football, and the defense, some folks think, may actually be better than it was on the National Championship Club of a year ago. Easy to see when most of those guys return, and you got a pair of All-Americans to anchor it. Talking about Rocky Calmus and Roy Williams.
Well, those two guys are great. You talk about better than last year. Hey, they're quicker, they're faster. Rocky Calmus and Roy Williams on both sides of the football field. Hey, where does the offense go? Both of them can track them down. Great All-Americans, and they return here for the Sooners, and they lead that defense.
The Sooners trying to take care of North Texas tonight, and they've got a new gunslinger in quarterback Nate Hibble. Hibble, too, is trying to improve each time out and has done so far. We'll talk about him as well as the receivers when we come back here in Norman. Welcome back to Owen Field at Memorial Stadium in Norman. Oklahoma and the University of North Texas, the third-ranked Sooners at 2-0, UNT at 0-1, and you can see OU is charged up here in Norman. Bill Land, Gary Reasons with you up top, and we're going to bring in the third member of our broadcast crew down on the field tonight, our sideline reporter, Mick Cornett. Mick?
Well, I tell you, the Sooners enjoy great depth at the wide receiver position so far already this season. 10 different Sooner players have caught passes. The leading receivers, number 12, Curtis Fagan, and the running back, Quentin Griffin. This is a young group. Of the 8 wide receivers on the depth chart, only one is a senior, that being Josh Norman. The receiving coach is the highly regarded Steve Spurrier Jr. All of his players are staying after practice, taking some extra catches in, and all of the skill players are spending 5 minutes out of each practice doing some drills that are specifically designed to help them learn to hold onto the football. They have had some drops this year. The coaches feel like it's an area for improvement, and they intend to start that improvement tonight against North Texas. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Mick. Mentioned earlier, a little cool tonight. A very pleasant night to play football. 77 degrees. Big thunderstorms last night. Chance of rain tonight. Hopefully it'll stay away with a breeze of 10 miles an hour coming out of the east. Oklahoma has won the toss and elected to defer. They will kick off. Jamel Branch is deep, and this one sails out of the end zone as expected from Oklahoma place kicker Tim Duncan, who has got a cannon for a leg. And UNT will start on offense. 1st and 10 from its own 20 as Branch heads to the bench. Look at Scott Hall, the sophomore from Schertz, Texas, 6'1", 211. Just 3 of 12 for 23 yards passing in North Texas. 19-5 loss to TCU last week. That game played in Denton at Fouts Field on the campus of UNT. We'll give you the rest of their starting unit in just a moment. The handoff to Galbraith, the tailback, who was their offense with 112 yards rushing in that opener. That is Kevin Galbraith, junior from here in Oklahoma, out of Edmond, Santa Fe High School. Rocky Kalmus making the tackle, no surprise for the All-American. 21 tackles coming in, 3 for loss already this season. UNT, a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. They operate out of the shotgun. Hall with Galbraith beside him. Fakes, and then the look-in is complete to the 30, 35, 40, and off to the races down the sideline. He's caught near the 20-yard line. Jamel Branch, the freshman out of Katy, Texas, nearly breaks it for 6.
Bill, it's
UNT has stunned Oklahoma.
They really have coming out here. They got 3 receivers to the top of the screen. They're going to do a wide receiver screen, good execution. And watch the blocking as they pin the defenders inside. He's going to get to the corner. Pretty good speed here by Branch, but the defense of Oklahoma is really fast, folks. That's Teddy Lehman, the middle linebacker, tracking him down, doing a good job there. He's got 4.3 speed in the 40, and he showed it right there.
58 yards on the pass play. And remember, Hall, 23 yards total in the season opener for UNT. Man in motion is Marshall. The ball given off to Galbraith. Oklahoma stuffs him after a pickup of a yard, possibly 2. Should be 2nd and 8. Kalmus again leading the way for Oklahoma's defense. Let's take a look at the rest of the North Texas lineup. As this team that is really anchored by its defense, you see Hall, nothing to brag about in the opener at just 25% completion. The offensive line, and that group expected to improve as the year goes along. They are certainly overmatched here tonight. We told you about Galbraith, their leading running back, and a guy they think can really be a workhorse for him. He gets the call here and goes to the 15-yard line, picks up 3. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for UNT. Oklahoma defensively, and the Sooners with their 4-3 defense. And pick a star, any star. Up front is Klein. Heineke, who had a touchdown last week. Wilkerson and Harris. Harris is turning some heads as a freshman standout. Moore, Lehman, and Kalmus, the linebackers. And the secondary has 3 of the 4 players up for the Jim Thorpe Award. Incompletion and a flag thrown as that pass intended for George Marshall, the wide receiver from Sugar Land, Texas.
And there's a flag on the near side here, Bill. I think Derek Strait got tangled up with the receiver. Officials are conferring. It's actually pushing off with the receiver, huh?
Yeah, makes the call against UNT. Head coach Bob Stoops of the Sooners, 22-5, and this his 3rd year at the helm. Taking OU to the national title run last year, running the table at 13-0. And Sooners yet to lose at home.
Pass interference against the offense. 10-yard penalty for previous spot. Repeat third down.
Well, if you look at the left side of your screen here, you're not going to see the interference, but just going to see late there. Derek Strait gets bumped right there. It's a pick play. The offense tries to pick for the receiver to come around on what they call a wheel route. Good job by the officials. You're not allowed to pick like that. Right on top of it.
Well, North Texas now, 3rd and 15 on the penalty. This team only had 3 first downs the entire game in the loss to TCU. Oklahoma's run defense only allowing 100 yards a game. Total defense just allowing 269. UNT facing a tough situation here. Hall to Galbraith, right up the middle. And he picked up to the 21-yard line. And Rocky Kalmus again leading the way for the Oklahoma defenders. And UNT in a field goal situation as they bring on Jason Ball.
Build a little fold block here on the outside on the left side. You see the Galbraith kind of run and get in behind the fold block. Good job there. This the North Texas defense, Bill, on offense is not real tricky. They're going to come in here. They're going to try to move a little bit, but they're going to go right at the OU defense.
Here's Hall, who is 1 of 2, a 26-yarder so far this year. This one, 31 yards. They're 38 out, and it's good. So good from UNT, and North Texas gets on the board with a field goal from Jason Ball.
Well, that's a confidence builder for Daryl Dickey and his ball club. They come in here, take that first possession, get a big play in their first play from scrimmage and go down the field. It's exactly what they want to do. Get some momentum going their way, but now they've got to go out there and play some defense, Bill.
So Ball hits on the field goal from 35, or the 38, I should say. 38 yards for Ball, and UNT takes the 3-0 lead, and what a confidence boost this gives the Mean Green.
Scott Hall, really their offensive, their quarterback, he's the key to that offense. Did a nice job that time, had the poise, really didn't make any bad plays, so good opportunity for the Mean Green to move down the field. They did a nice job.
Yeah, particularly an inexperienced quarterback that kept his cool, did not do anything to turn it over, and they pick up 3 with 11:59 to go in the first quarter. There's a good look at Daryl Dickey. He's familiar with Oklahoma, was up here a couple of years ago when he brought UNT. He's in his 5th year, 3-8 a year ago, 1-4 in the Big West, and of course he is the son of Jim Dickey, former Kansas State coach, and Daryl played quarterback there, and Jim, his father, was an assistant on Barry Switzer's staff many years ago here, so Daryl knows all about the tradition of Oklahoma. The short kick, and is fielded at a fair catch, and let's see where they're going to mark around the 20-yard line as Oklahoma will take possession there. And the Sooners get their first crack offensively now. And Nate Hibble comes on, the junior from Hazelhurst, Georgia, the transfer from Georgia, and 6'3", 217, has thrown for 313 yards, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns so far. A slow start against North Carolina, slow start against Air Force, and then came on. And comes out throwing to Trent Smith, the tight end, and it's complete just shy of the 25-yard line for a pickup of 5 yards. Here's the Oklahoma offense, the line. First of all, Hibble and his completion percentage at 57%, and came on real strong in that second quarter against Air Force. Frank Romero is the all-everything candidate for OU. Sim Smith and the rest of the bunch, the backs and receivers, as Mick told you, they spread it out as far as throwing the football. Woolfolk will see on defense as well. Hibble out of the backfield, Griffin to the 30, and still on his feet and knocked out of bounds, but about the 39-yard line.
Came in here as one of the top receivers in his ball club. They throw the ball to Quentin Griffin. You see there on the screen, 8 catches already coming into the ball game, Bill. And he's just picking up where he left off with Air Force. He ran the ball extremely well. This is just a little read here by Nate Hibble. He's going to read his progression down the field. He knows that he's got Quentin Griffin in the flat. Does a nice job of coming off those receivers, and Quentin Griffin delivers.
And Griffin, 8 catches, tied for the team leadership in that category coming in. Picks up 15 there, and OU on the first down. Nothing doing at the line this time as UNT stiffens. And this North Texas defense is a group that they're pretty proud of. They did a great job against TCU, and let's take a look at up front. Keep an eye on the fire plug, if you will. Brandon Kennedy, 5'10", 325 pounds. Their all-conference player from a year ago is at linebacker, Brad Castle. He is a senior. And in the secondary is an area that they might be a little bit suspect. They're also missing a player or two because of injury there, and Knowlton is filling in at one of them. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Hibble. Dancing, now got time. Looking downfield, and it is complete. Woolfolk inside UNT territory at the 41-yard line of the Mean Green.
When we talked to Bob Stoops and Mark Mangino about their offense, one thing they wanted to establish was the quarterback, Nate Hibble, having some patience in the pocket. And he showed right there the patience that he needed to get this handle. The offensive protection breaks down just a little bit, but Hibble buys the time that he needs. You see the patience he wastes in the receivers, and Woolfolk does a nice job of coming to the open area, and that's a good shot and a good catch.
Sooners pick up 19. Back to the live action as Woolfolk spreads out. Anchored inside as Oklahoma keeps it on the ground again, and Griffin stuffed again there. 10 minutes to go, first quarter. North Texas with a 38-yard field goal from Ball and a 3-0 lead, Oklahoma's first possession.
You're going to see a lot of people run in and on and off the field for the Eagles. Their front four, they roll about 12 or 13 guys into the game, Bill. Going to keep those guys fresh and bring a lot of people against this OU offense.
2nd and 12, a loss of 2 on the play. Griffin last week getting 26 carries, 201 yards. Hibble, quick look, complete, 40, 35, and diving inside the 35-yard line. Josh Norman, senior out of Midland, Texas, came in with a couple of grabs for 16 yards.
Well, Josh Norman just gets the wide receiver screen here. He's going to come back inside and watch the receivers in front of him cross. One goes outside and one comes inside. It creates a little vortex. Here's the receiver. That's Griffin coming in, getting his block. Normally he's going to go right up right behind Griffin, but he saw some room to the outside. Norman does a good job of picking up some extra yards.
3rd and 1 at the 32 of UNT. Bill and Gary Reasons, Mick Cornett with you. Hibble rolls out left, complete, first down Sooners to the 20, 15, and Oklahoma. A little bit of everything as the Sooners complete that one to Chris Toney. Toney, a sophomore from Choctaw, going in place of Jeremy Hess tonight at the H-back position, and shows he can play too as Priestley made the tackle from the right corner.
We see Chris Toney just come underneath here, and he's going to do a good job of getting out in front of the defense. They're trying to catch up with him. Nate Hibble sees him wide open, and he delivers. Just turns it up there, get what he can. The big tight end bumps one off. Good gain there by the fullback.
And Oklahoma, a nice pace, a nice tempo to this offensive series. 1st and 10 from the 13. Griffin again trying to squeeze it off the left side, and not much, getting back to the line of scrimmage as Brandon Kennedy is there to make the tackle. Well, Oklahoma's passed it around, and I mean that, Gary, and it's kind of funny talking to Mark Mangino, the offensive coordinator, yesterday. He said, well, Nate Hibble got a guy he kind of feels like he really connects with, and it was like, well, no. We do spread it around, and we tell him we don't want favorites.
That's exactly right. This offense is not going to pick out one receiver. It's going to favor the scheme, and Nate Hibble's job is to find the open receiver, and he's done a good job of that tonight.
2nd and 10 at the 13 now. Hibble out of the shotgun. Griffin out of the backfield to the 10. 5! Touchdown, Oklahoma! Quentin Griffin, his first receiving touchdown of the year.
Well, Nate Hibble does a good job. You're going to see pressure from the outside on both sides. You got the blitz coming, but he reads it well. Quentin Griffin gets to the outside, and his 4.3 speed and a little juke there is all he needs to get in the end zone. Good execution by Oklahoma on their first drive.
Tim Duncan for the point after. He's 10 of 10 on the year and 5 of 5 in field goals. And he splits the uprights, and the Sooners, first possession, they take the lead after trailing on a field goal 3-0. It's now 7-3, Griffin with the score. Oklahoma answers North Texas, and it's 7-3 Oklahoma And the Sooners wasting no time offensively. And the passing of Nate Hibble, that can only be a good phone call.
I'm telling you, sure is. I tell you, he was perfect on that drive. Read all of his keys exceptionally well, did a good job of distributing the football, which is what Mark Mangino told us. He wanted them to distribute the ball appropriately, and Nate Hibble just came through and executed perfectly. Getting out to Quentin Griffin, one of his leading receivers on the football club. And I tell you, Oklahoma, no rust on that drive, Bill.
Griffin from Hibble, and OU leads at 7-3, and Duncan to kick it off again. And this one again leaves the end zone, and UNT will get it 1st and 10 from its own 20. Let's see how Oklahoma's defense answers this time.
I don't think they're going to be caught by surprise this time. They realize that North Texas is a formidable offense. One play, though, does not make us, make a football team. This Oklahoma defense has a lot of talent out there, as we talked about, Bill. It is quicker, it is faster than the defense from a year ago. I expect them to play a lot better on this drive.
Scott Hall to Galbraith. Dives across to the 22-yard line. Pickup of 2. Jimmy Wilkerson, sophomore from Omaha. Got 11 tackles in the first 2 games this year. Is there to make the stop. It'll be 2nd and 8 for UNT.
The one thing that Daryl Dickey doesn't want to have happen to his offense to kind of make mistakes. Now, just throw a bad pass, put the ball on the ground. Really want to keep themselves into the game. They don't want to create bad field position for their defense, so they're willing to go out there and try to get what they can and hopefully, if need be, execute a good punt just to win the field position game here.
Griffin relaxes as he looks on. 2nd and 8 for the Eagles. Play action. Flag is thrown. Ball is incomplete as Hall throwing it down to the 35-yard line, looking for Kevin Howard. And Corey Heineke had the pressure on him. The senior from Edmond.
There's a flag on the play.
It's against the Sooners.
And the defense got in there a little bit quick and probably going to take the penalty here. Bring up 2nd and short. He's going to run a little boot pass and come back here.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Offsides, 5 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 3 now from the 27.
A lot better play selection now if you're the offensive coordinator trying to call a play here. Daryl Dickey, the head coach, he is the offensive coordinator. He does call the plays for the Eagles.
Daryl Dickey told us one thing he was not worried about his team, is he said, even though this might be the best team that UNT has ever played in the history of the program, he goes, will not be in awe because they play these types of teams, maybe not national champions, but big time and Big 12 schools all the time in their pre-conference slate. Galbraith. Nice job to cut back to the right side and picked up the 1st down, crossing the 30 out to the 33-yard line.
Kevin Galbraith is a JUCO transfer, came into the North Texas program this past spring, doing a good job in the first ball game against TCU, getting over 100 yards in the ball game. Been a pleasant surprise because they really didn't know who was going to show up at the running back position for him. One thing they found out about Galbraith is he got some durability and went the whole game and didn't realize that he'd be able to do that, but came out and played very well last week, and they're expecting good things from him this season.
And Galbraith sets him up with a 1st and 10 at the 34. We mentioned he's out of Edmond, Santa Fe, and went to UNT via Northeastern Oklahoma A&M and Miami. And Galbraith plunges ahead here to the 37-yard line, and Kalmus is there to meet him for Oklahoma.
Well, Rocky Kalmus just shows why he's one of the top linebackers in this country. I tell you, he's a guy who is really the heart and soul of this defense. And Rocky Kalmus sticks up. He can make the plays inside. He can make the plays outside. Good instincts. That's a good thing about Rocky Kalmus. He has the instincts to find the football. Hey, just throw it out there, Bill. He's going to go get it.
Yeah, and visiting with Mike Stoops yesterday, the defensive coordinator, the superlatives just continue to flow for Kalmus and Williams and this entire defensive unit. He said they're such a fun group to coach that they really look forward to all aspects of football. Practice, not just games. And this bunch has been terrific. And the flags stopped this play from getting underway as they were looking to throw it to Howard. Both these teams have had penalty problems in the early going. Oklahoma, 18 penalties in its first 2 games, so averaging 9 penalties for 87 yards a game, and UNT had 9 flags thrown with 83 yards in penalties in the loss to TCU.
And Daryl Dickey knows if they're going to have a chance to stay in this game or extend the competitive portion, they can't afford to shoot themselves in the foot. 2nd and 12, ball on the 32 now. Ball gives to Galbraith. Rolls across to the 40-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 4. Roy Williams, one of the tri-captains, strong safety, makes the tackle. Junior from Union City, California.
Well, Bill, the Sooners are an attacking style defense. You're going to see them try to get in the backfield, and what they're doing is using their aggressiveness. Good job of blocking and locking up there on the outside, and Galbraith just kind of slips right through them. Good execution by that offensive line.
Crowd gets after it now. There's a 3rd and 4 facing UNT in a timeout. Scott Hall, and I realize you're talking a relatively inexperienced quarterback. Last year as a freshman, he started the last 9 games of the year, but hadn't faced this kind of situation. Stay with us, Oklahoma. The early leaders 7-3. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, Owen Field at the University of Oklahoma on Fox Sports Net. It is 7-3 Sooners. Defense called to the charge here. 3rd and 4, ball on the 40. UNT with Hall barking out the signals. Wide receivers to the top. He rolls that way. Incomplete, nearly picked off. Roy Williams all over Branch and nearly had the interception. Williams last year with 93 tackles in that championship role. Had a pair of picks.
Just good speed and quickness, his ability to stay with the receiver. Hall's going to roll out of the pocket, try to elude the rush, get him out in space where he can make a play, but I tell you, Roy Williams just breaks right there in front of it. Should have had the interception. He had it dead to rights. You know, that's one he'd like to have a chance to get again.
Hall, the punter, Jason Ball, and it goes to the 15-yard line, and good coverage by the return unit as Oklahoma will have it 1st and 10 on their 15-yard line after the punt from Ball, who put the 3 points for UNT on the board. Oklahoma up 7-3. Oklahoma takes over after a 44-yard punt, no return for Damian Mackey, and Hibble, the quarterback, a visit from the sideline before he heads out, and the rain gear is being adorned by the Oklahoma fans. They had 1,000 tickets available yesterday that were sold very quickly, that North Texas returned, and everybody knew. You can see they came prepared. Good Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts here, as this thunderstorm that hit last night, that doesn't keep them away, and part of the reason Oklahoma's won its last 14 is the incredible support that they receive here at Owen Field. Hibble, who was 6 of 6 in the opening drive, makes it 7 of 7 on 1st and 10 to Griffin. He gets 5, leads it to the 21, and actually a 6-yard pickup for Quentin Griffin.
Yeah, just like a pitch play, get Quentin Griffin with his speed to the outside, just toss it to him. Let those wide receivers block, and they do a good job of blocking. See Nate Hibble here is going to deliver it. It's going to go immediately right to Griffin, but look out front. You see the receivers blocking, doing a good job of picking them off, and that's a good open field tackle, a shoestring tackle.
Number 3, Josh Norman, trying to make the block out there. The pitch to Griffin on 2nd down. He's got the 1st down, and there's a look at the flexibility and the different things that Griffin can do.
Well, that's what Quentin Griffin brings to the table, Bill. Not only does he have the speed and quickness to elude people, but when he needs to, he can get that low center of gravity down. He's only 5'8", but I tell you, he really delivers a punch. He's 205 pounds. This year, he got a lot stronger, a little bigger upside. And I tell you, when he gets his receivers blocking outside like this, you see the cut block inside, and Quentin Griffin takes advantage of it and then lowers his shoulder for the extra yardage.
Mark Mangino said one of the shyest people he's ever been around, but he said, what a terrific person and a great worker, and that added weight has really helped him. Look at Woolfolk weaving his way to the 50. 25, and touchdown works. Ronaldo works. First carry of the night and works into the end zone. Wow, what a play. 72 yards, Ronaldo works.
Well, the draw play inside. Ronaldo Works came on the scene a year ago as a freshman for the Sooners. Did a nice job early in the year. Tell you, he wants to get back out there. Quentin Griffin's had a lot of fun, and Nate Hibble wants to get in on the action too. Try to run down there with him. That young man has a lot of speed.
And Works makes it Oklahoma 13-3. Duncan for the point after. It is 14-3. Works last year in a game that we had went 75 yards against Arkansas State. Well, there was only 72 remaining tonight, and he did it in one boot.
Well, Ronaldo Works does a nice job here. Watch the center and guard. They kind of full block inside and pick off the linebacker. That's a good job there by Mike Skinner, the right guard, doing a good job of picking him off, and his receivers, as we've talked about already, do a good job of blocking, trying to get in the way here. The speed that Oklahoma possesses, not only on defense, their running backs can bring it down the field as well, Bill.
One more time as Works, who played a lot early last year, Gary, because Griffin had a bit of a shoulder problem, and it's not like this guy doesn't have talent as he shows us here.
That's exactly right. He came on the scene, as I said, a year ago, early in his freshman year, and Ronaldo Works showed that he could play hard. He was good between the tackles a year ago, really exploded into people, but they're showing his speed that he has. Good job by the young man coming in, just giving Quentin Griffin a spell there. It takes it all the way to the house.
Well, competition for a position is always good.
It's always a good thing.
And last year he was an honorable mention freshman All-American as he ran for 377 yards and averaged 4.5 a carry, 5 touchdowns, and the kickoff, and they're going to keep it right there. Good decision made by a little of encouragement as Cobbs had a thought of bringing it out, and quickly Branch said, no, stay right here.
I think Branch would have tackled him if he brought it out or tried to bring it out.
So 1st and 10 for UNT from its own 20. And Duncan again doing his job. And sometimes, I don't think people here at Oklahoma overlook it, but around the country, they don't give the credit to the special teams. And when you've got a kicker the caliber of Duncan to consistently put it in or out of the end zone and know that you're going to see the opposition start 1st and 10 from the 20, it's quite a weapon to go along with his field goal ability. Hall, great fake to the 20, 25. Nice pickup as Scott Hall had 9 carries, minus 22 yards in the season opener. But UNT has done a pretty good job of mixing it up here so far.
They have a little misdirection, a couple of bootlegs here, and Hall gets outside. And instead of throwing it to his tight end, Munchau just turns and blocks, and Hall gets in behind him and picks up 7.
And Darrell Dickey, who led Kansas State to its first bowl game ever in his quarterbacking days, looks on. Rocky Kalmus gearing up for a 2nd and 4 facing the Eagles. Galbraith with a flag thrown, and he is stopped at the 27-yard line. Teddy Lehman in on the tackle, as well as Jimmy Wilkerson. Offsides against Oklahoma, so the penalty is still a problem here for the Sooners. 3:26 to go in the first, and Oklahoma up 14-3.
Offside on the defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Oklahoma and UNT each with a pair of penalties so far. And now North Texas 1st and 10 at the 31. UNT has completed 1 pass, the 58-yarder to Branch, and set up their field goal. Here's Galbraith, and creamed as he is stuffed at the 34-yard line. And Galbraith hit hard. Jarvis Smith, sophomore from Aldine, Texas, out of Nimitz High School.
Well, they're going to try to play aggressively against this Oklahoma defense. They're taking that defensive speed. They're trying to misdirect. But look at Roy Williams here. He just stays at home, plays off the block, comes up and makes a nice open field tackle. Real patient. He knows he's got the ability to go anywhere all over the field. Just wait for the play to come to him.
2nd and 7 at the 34. Oh, he nearly bounced off that time. All out of the shotgun. Completes it to the 42, and should have a first down. Yes, believe it will be that. Marshall, the receiver. Roy Williams makes the tackle. And George Marshall has his first reception of the season. Last year, 9 catches for a pair of touchdowns.
A lot better execution by the Mean Green. I tell you, a week ago against TCU, they didn't have near this kind of production, at least consistency moving the football, doing a good job here mixing it up, but everything is on the perimeter. They're not going to be able to win against the Oklahoma defense going inside. They've decided to misdirect this team and use the outside of the field to pick up some yardage.
1st and 10 at the 42. Galbraith pushed back. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. Kalmus led the way for Oklahoma. Jimmy Wilkerson also up there.
And that's just what I was talking about, going inside against Wilkerson and Kalmus. It'll be a tough day for those offensive players to make any room for the backs to come through there. That defense, they stay at home and they play tough and they're physical inside. Not only are they fast, I tell you, they are really strong inside.
Oklahoma coming off the 44-3 win over Air Force Academy. Worst Air Force loss at home since 1990. Sooners up 14-3 over UNT. Galbraith again trying to find a hole, squeezes through for a yard or two, stopped at the 45-yard line. And Brandon Everidge was in on the play. Everidge, who just had a huge game at the Air Force Academy. A little banged up. They'd like to be able to play him, kind of pick and choose their spots tonight, but this guy, talk about a guy who wants to be out there all the time.
Well, he's a hammer. Teddy Lehman does a good job coming here and leading on the back. Everidge just comes over from his free safety spot. There were some hits that Everidge made, Bill, in that Air Force game. Tells me, hey, this guy has no regard for his body. He just throws it around. Everidge is one of those guys, they just love on that defense.
3rd and 7 at the 45. Hall with a flag thrown. Keeps it and hit hard. Kalmus met him after a yard or two. And again, let's see which way the whistle goes.
Number 11, Lehman, and 20, Kalmus making the tackle for the Sooners.
And again, offsides Oklahoma. Well, we've seen plenty of offense so far tonight.
I don't know if it's a cadence thing that Scott Hall is using, but maybe just alignment. Somebody's trying to get in there a little bit early. I don't know who they're calling that on. But I'm sure that Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator, is not pleased with his defense when they're giving up unnecessary free yards. A couple of penalties here. You can see the yardage on the penalties. Not what they want to go out there and do as a defense.
Just consider North Texas and TCU in their opener. 327 yards total offense between the two teams tonight. North Texas 114 yards of total offense. OU 165 as the first quarter winds down. Probably the final play of the quarter. Hall still on his feet and then hit hard. Great pursuit, and who else? Rocky Kalmus there to finish him off. And that'll end the first quarter here in Norman. UNT striking first with a field goal from Ball. OU coming back quickly and leading at 14-3. Welcome back, Oklahoma, as we get ready for the second period, leading at 14-3. Bill and Gary Reasons up top. Down on the sidelines, Mick Cornett with a special guest.
Yeah, I have a little trouble hearing you down there with head basketball coach Kelvin Sampson. Kelvin, how's your team look this year?
I think good, Mick. We're, every year we say we're going to be good, but we're really excited about this year. Got solid nucleus coming back and an outstanding recruiting class, so we're excited.
Now, when can you start practice?
Our conditioning program will start in force this week, but official starting day will be October 13th.
Hollis Price coming off the tricep injury. How's he doing?
You know, it was a little bit worse than we thought. He was cleared to begin workouts 100% in August, so he's been doing good. It's been slow coming back, but right now he's looking like the Hollis of old.
Okay, how you like this game?
I like this game. I wish it would stop raining, but our offense looks a lot better than it has, and the defense is good, so Sooners look good.
All right, good luck.
Thanks, Mick.
All right, Kelvin Sampson, 26-7 a year ago, former National Coach of the Year. His Sooners can start working out next week.
Yeah, and what a facility that they're about to complete out there with the practice gyms that are being added on to the Lloyd Noble Center. Didn't quite have it in the days of our spotter tonight's former OU basketball coach, Bob Go-Go Stevens. And yeah, you didn't have that kind of facility. What you had is that gym that's just to the other end of the end zone there. And the old OU Fieldhouse, the facilities, and we'll talk more about that at halftime here tonight with Joe Castiglione and some of the other folks here at Oklahoma. The boom is on here at OU. All right, back to the action to start the second period. It is 4th down and 3. And that brings on the punter, Ball. Taken at the 15. And hit at the 22-yard line. Oklahoma, as Hurd made the tackle. And Oklahoma will operate 1st and 10 from its 21-yard line. Well, we're going to take a look at some of the great tradition of OU football tonight, and certainly when you start talking about that, you must talk Bud Wilkinson. Wilkinson, the legendary Sooner coach from 47 to 63, led OU to 3 national titles in 50, 55, and 56, and of course, that was the great era of the 47-game winning streak for OU, as Wilkinson led the Sooners to 4 unbeaten seasons. Bud Wilkinson, one of the OU legends. Hibble, been hot so far. Not now, picked off by Spencer at the 30 and down to the 29. So the interception by Cody Spencer from Grapevine, Texas. He gets his first interception of the year, and Nate Hibble throws his 3rd INT of the year.
Well, Nate Hibble, I don't think he even sees Spencer. He's waiting for one of his receivers to come across the field. In the middle of these, trying to hit Savage on the top here. He's going to come down and across, and that's what Nate Hibble's trying to accomplish. Well, there's Savage sitting down. I'm sorry, that's Quentin Griffin underneath, and Savage is underneath, but he just overthrows that ball, and Spencer does a nice job of picking it up, and good interception. Just a poorly thrown ball here by Nate Hibble. He just lets this one sail. He's got plenty of time, good protection in front of him. He delivers the ball over the one linebacker, but just a little bit too far. Kind of hard to thread the needle there between 2 of them.
Well, when you're a 40-point underdog like UNT coming in here, Daryl Dickey telling his club, don't make the mistakes that'll kill you. Don't give up the big plays. Well, they've created the turnover. They gave up the long touchdown run to Works, but now they have a chance to get back on the board in this steady drizzle that's hitting here. Incomplete on the first down pass as they were going to Kevin Howard, a sophomore out of Dallas. And it is raining hard, and not only that, we've seen some lightning from our vantage point here, and you can see the concern of Oklahoma fans. And
well, one thing Oklahoma doesn't want to have is they don't want North Texas to strike a little lightning here with the score off the interception. The defense wants to stiffen. They want to turn this thing around. As you see the rain coming down on the fans, you won't be turning many of these faithful red away from here.
2nd and 10 at the 29. Quarterback Hall has Howard in motion. Galbraith, and a flag is thrown. Wilkerson with the tackle for Oklahoma, and the penalty against UNT. Oklahoma, a 14-3 leader after the first period. We're just moments into the second quarter here. As the first quarter stats, 165 total yards for OU, 113 for North Texas as they sort out this penalty here.
That's an illegal motion penalty against the offense.
Illegal strip against the offense is declined. Holding against the offense, and a 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Interesting here, the receiver, what happens is he's coming across, he's actually stepping forward, which is what the illegal shift is. He stepped forward once and went back. That's the penalty. But they call a holding on it, so it's going to be even better for the Sooners with the result of the holding penalty on the play.
Second down and 20 now. The ball on the 39. Hall trying to be heard above this roaring crowd. Complete. Touchdown, Marshall. Hall to Marshall, and 6 for UNT. George Marshall A 39-yard pass play, and North Texas again stuns this Oklahoma crowd. Scott Hall a strike.
Scott Hall does a nice job of rolling and looking backside. Everyone is going across the field, and he gets behind the defense. Good job that time by Marshall, just running past the defense. Sometimes the defenders take a peek back in the backfield. I think that's what happened to the Sooners on that play.
Stack is holding. Ball with the point after. It is good. And UNT comes right back on the 39-yard TD pass. Marshall from Hall, and it's 14-10 Oklahoma. Kickoff when we come back. Welcome back to Owen Field. Oklahoma 14-10, and we've had plenty of weather here as well as offense. Let's go down to Mick Cornett, find out more about the weather.
Oh, we have good news to report from the sidelines. It is not raining anymore. All of the fans have got their parkas on, though. The wind has picked up out of the north. It's kind of cool down here. Right now, blue skies overhead. Looks like some more might be coming in.
Your shirt's not soaked. Where'd you go a minute ago? He's smart. That's why he got out of there. First and 10 at the 33 for UNT. After they scored to start the second quarter, let's see what they come up with on this possession. Hall. Lobczyk keeps it. Nice job, and still scrambling. And Hall, it looks like he got the first down, Gary. Nice run by the quarterback, Scott Hall, as Dusty Dvorak made the tackle. A freshman from Lake Dallas, Texas, not far from the UNT campus.
We'll take a look here at the kicker before the game. This is Jason Ball, and on the far side you can see the same kick there by Tim Duncan, about 45 or 50 yards, and it goes a little bit right. It was the same kind of kick he had as we tried the field goal in the last possession by the Sooners, Bill.
They come out and measure, and I'm impressed with North Texas. Their offense, that just 129 yards of total offense against TCU, including 112 of that from Galbraith. And here tonight, they sit with 152 yards with 9:43 to go in the second period.
First down, North Texas.
Well, they've definitely come in here and prepared and played very well here against the Sooners. Kind of strange, they decided to leave North Texas, the Denton area, right at 2 o'clock today. The game time at 6:30. So they drove up 35, Interstate 35, what, about 2.5 hours to get here before the game, and came out here to take care of business and did a pretty good job so far.
Pre-game meal at home, drive up for the ball game, kind of like high school. I'll tell you what, they've come ready to play. First and 10 at the 43. Galbraith stopped at the 45, forward motion still going before they finally blow the whistle, and carries it nearly to the 47-yard line, and tackled by Teddy Lehman, as well as Kalmus. Well, the Oklahoma coach is really excited about this youngster Lehman, a sophomore from Fort Gibson.
Well, the middle linebacker, Lehman, number 11, steps in there, scrapes across, does a good job, uses leverage, gets down underneath the runner, uses his legs and his lower body and his strength. And Rocky Kalmus, hey, you're not going anywhere else. I'm just dumping you back. And Lehman's learned a lot from Rocky Kalmus. He's a young guy, just a sophomore, 4.3 speed in the 40, Bill. Just tremendous for a middle linebacker.
Yeah, just 11 tackles last year as he played sparingly, but he has really come on quickly. Flags everywhere will stop this play from getting underway with 8:51 to go in the second period.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Texas picks up the penalty, and that's their fourth for 35 yards. OU with 5 tonight, 37 yards in penalties. And Hall looks to the sideline for the play. We mentioned North Texas and the fact that they wouldn't be in awe here tonight. They still have Arkansas to go, and then Texas Tech at Texas Stadium at South Florida before they get into their first Sun Belt action. So guaranteed games are way of life at UNT. Second and 12 from the 41. Nothing doing this time. The whole front was there.
That's exactly right. That defensive front, they buckled down and get back in the backfield. Tell you, one young guy who's done very well for this Oklahoma team, early this year is Tommy Harris. Just a true freshman coming in here, Bill. 6'3", 275-pounder. As we see, you got a flag on the play. But Tommy Harris is a guy who, I tell you, they call him the strongest player on their defense. Just a true freshman. I tell you, the size, the ability, the upside, they say, is completely off the charts with that young man. That play did a nice job of stuffing the guard and getting in on the tackle.
Yeah, when you look at the sophistication and the technology available for weight programs and what players are basically staying on campus all summer, to have a true freshman come in and be one of your leaders, if not the strongest, is just absolutely incredible. And he plays, not just strong. 3rd and 12. Marshall in motion. Galbraith. Nowhere this time. And the OU defense answers again, and North Texas will have to kick it away.
Trying to get it inside again, and Wilkerson and Harris, we talked about them, the linebackers, Lehman, doing a good job. Everybody right up front in the middle of the field, the Sooner defense is really responding.
Roy Williams and crew to the sideline as coming on to punt. Jason Ball came in averaging 36.7, and tonight has averaged 40.5 on his first 2. And OU, one man deep, that ball nearly blocked, and the Sooners will stay away from it. Rolls inside the 25-yard line. And Oklahoma will take over there. Shelby to the sideline at 14-10 OU. Rain is stopped for the moment. Let's hope it stays away as Oklahoma, a 14-10 lead over North Texas. 7:17 to go here in the first half. Well, everyone here, of course, pointing to Texas, Oklahoma, that it's coming up October 6th. One of the better OU wins had to be in '93 when the Sooners, led by Cale Gundy, throttled Texas 38-17 to stop a 4-game losing streak in the series, as Gundy not only threw it but ran it well, and Oklahoma down at the Cotton Bowl put away Texas 38-17. Gundy throwing for 111 yards, and you see squirting in for the TD as well. What a happy day it was at the State Fair in Texas. And Texas won today to continue to set up that collision on October 6th this year, as Nebraska, Texas, OU all ranked in the top 5 national. Norman, 30. And stopped shy of the 35-yard line. Josh Norman on the reception. Craig Jones, the free safety, made the tackle.
We talked about making the first guy miss, and Josh Norman does just that on the outside. It's a nice job of receiving the ball, kind of a bunch route. They decide to get into the outside, and watch him make the defender miss here. Good job in execution. Takes a pretty good lick there. Good job coming up, making a big hit as Craig Jones, a free safety for North Texas.
Come out to measure. And speaking of Texas, today they beat North Carolina 44-14. Really struggled early in that game. Also, one of the major, you don't call it upset anymore, Fresno State, number 19, beats number 23, Wisconsin, 32-20 in Madison today. Out of the Big 12, Kansas falls to number 14, UCLA, 41-17.
Bill, you think that October 6th ticket in Dallas is going to be a tough one?
Wow. As long as these two don't lose focus before then, I say these two, meaning Texas and OU. Of course, Oklahoma has Tulsa here next Saturday night. And then a week off before Kansas State. And then to Dallas to take on Texas. 1st and 10 from the 35. Hibble dumps it to Griffin. 40. And Griffin out of bounds near the first down marker. They may have to measure again, as he is right on that 45-yard line. And Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're just moving it right down the field. Good job that time by the offensive line getting out on the screen play. Quentin Griffin, we talked about his height. Not very tall at 5'6", 5'8", that area. He gets in behind that offensive line, and hey, that's a perfect height if you're going to run the screen play. And good execution that time.
And Griffin with 6 receptions and 74 yards tonight already. 1st and 10 from the 45 now for Oklahoma. Griffin across midfield by an inch. OU prior to that play, Gary. Good balance. 81 yards rushing and 93 passing.
And that's what you want to have from this offense. Don't make the quarterback do it all. Don't make the receivers do it all. Go ahead and blend it, get the running game going.
Luke Conder made the tackle that time on Griffin. Clock moving at 6:23. Oklahoma 2nd and 5 at the 50. And leading at 14-10. Griffin. And North Texas, nice job of swarming to the ball, but not before he got the first down as he crosses to the 43-yard line. Knowlton made the tackle. Markeith Knowlton.
Little toss play. Good job, Chris Toney here, number 39, the fullback. Watch him kind of seal and cut off Castle right there. Is going to knock him off out of the play. And good job that time by the offensive line. Everybody's sealing him inside. Makes it easy for the running back to get around the corner when you have blocks like that.
Oklahoma, Norman back in. Redshirt freshman Mark Clayton split out at the bottom of your screen. Hibble with a keeper and to the 40. Stayed in bounds. And Hibble tackled. Got a couple, and Taylor Casey with the stop for the Mean Green of North Texas.
Well, trying to do a little misdirection. We give it to the tailback here a lot. Go ahead and see if we can get the defense overcommitting, but Taylor Casey does a nice job of playing off the block and taking care of Hibble without too much yardage. Picked up about 3 yards.
Young and old, they're here enjoying Oklahoma football, but the Sooners making it too tight for the OU faithful for the moment. Leading 14-10 as North Texas had a couple of big plays. One that set up an opening field goal that gave them the lead in the game. Pass over the middle, complete to Trent Smith. And Smith to the 36-yard line. 3rd down and 3 for OU. Clock moving under 5 minutes here.
You know, the tight end likes to get into the passing game. Go ahead and spread it around here. That's the ball distribution. Mark Mangino talked to us about it. They want to spread the ball around, and Nate Hibble's done a nice job of that, spreading it around before the game. Coming in here, 10 different receivers have caught footballs, Bill. And that just tells you they use a lot of players in that passing game.
5 different receivers tonight have made catches, and in fact 6, as Lance Donnelly is now among that group. And Oklahoma, 3rd and 3. And a timeout on the field as Bob Stoops, National Coach of the Year for leading the Sooners in just his 2nd year to a national championship.
Well, a lot of things went well for the Sooners a year ago, and I don't think it was any surprise or any mistake. That man can coach, just flat out coach. There's no doubt about it. A lot of speculation about his coaching staff and possibly one of those guys moving on and getting a head coaching job, but they haven't done that. They've stayed together, and they feel like they work real well together. So you take a look at the players here and see what kind of awards they're up for. I tell you, it's just an all-star team here, this football team, and Rocky Kalmus with the 3 opportunities there, the Butkus, Nagurski, and Lombardi awards. There's even talk about Rocky Kalmus as possibly being a Heisman Trophy candidate. Nobody's really emerged offensively in the nation for that award, and I'll tell you, the numbers that he's put up certainly might merit some consideration.
Yeah, and you see 3 of their 4 defensive backs up for the Thorpe Award. You know, back to Kalmus, and we may look a little bit too far ahead here, but I think you mentioned the key thing, that if no one comes out offensively and just puts great numbers, and Kalmus getting a lot of national exposure, has already scored a touchdown on defense, and you look to that Texas game, Chris Sims has been labeled as a Heisman candidate. Think if OU beats Texas, Kalmus has a better game or a standout performance, that might be the game where people nationally say, you know what, we better really look at this guy for something like that. And that's a ways off, of course, but we'll see what happens. The completion here on the 3rd and 3, and OU will move the chains again as he comes back again to the tight end, Trent Smith. And Oklahoma with 13 first downs now as Knowlton made the tackle.
Just too many things to defend against the Oklahoma offense. That time the boot pass coming around, and Trent Smith just drags across from the far side. He's going to come around, watch, get behind the linebackers, and Hibble's going to get across there and wide open. There's nobody actually covering him, so he should make a big play on this. Good job of coming up and tackling in the secondary.
Clayton wide left, Fagan and Smith to the right, pitch out to Griffin. Griffin to the 20, and dragged down inside the 15-yard line. Quentin Griffin comes up with another big run. He had 10 runs of 10 or more yards in the Air Force game. Craig Jones makes the tackle here on this double-digit carry.
Well, I tell you, when you get your running back out into space Quentin Griffin can make a miss, but I tell you, he's getting a lot of blocks up front from his offensive line. And this fullback, Chris Toney, number 39, is doing a good job of blocking on the perimeter for him as well.
Griffin 5'6", but a powerful 187 pounds, and he is cut now. 1st and 10 at the 14. Griffin cuts to the corner, 5, and Oklahoma on the board as Griffin just does edge in. Knowlton trying to give chase, and Griffin beat him to the pylon.
I talked about blocking, and that's exactly what happened for the Sooners on that play. The top of the field, all 3 receivers just lock up, and Quentin Griffin just picks his way right to the end zone.
And OU now doubling up. 20-10 is the count, trying to make it 21. If Tim Duncan can remain perfect on the year, 12 of 12. And it's good. So Griffin, his 2nd touchdown of the night. 1 on the pass, 1 on the run, and OU leads at 21-10.
Well, watch these 3 guys right here. They're going to lock up right there, 1, 2, 3, boom. Quentin Griffin just gets out there in space. Look at the blocks. Everybody gets their hat on hat. That's what coaches call get your hat on hat and lock up. Trent Smith does a great job there of blocking on the outside. It's exactly how you draw it up, and if your offense can execute like that, it's going to be big plays all night long.
Sooners up 11 as Quentin Griffin, his 2nd TD of the night, has the other one for Oklahoma, and the Sooners lead at 21-10 with 3:43 to go here in the first half. Here's the scoring drive at 76 yards, 9 plays, and the Sooners requiring just 3:34. Well, Griffin last year made a couple of all-conference first-team units in the Big 12 honors session. He had the 6 touchdown performance in the Texas game. We were talking about that a moment ago. And 16 scores on the year, rushing for 783 yards. The kickoff taken at the 5. Cobbs across the 15 to near the 17-yard line before Patrick Cobbs, a freshman, another Oklahoman on that North Texas roster out of Tecumseh. And he's brought down by Derek Strait, the sophomore out of Austin. And a little slow getting up.
And there's big Mark Mangino, their offensive coordinator. I tell you, he was a lot of fun to talk to this week. You can tell why the players respond to him. He's a fun guy to talk to, and I think he's a great communicator. That offensive line, that's what he works with primarily. But the offensive coordinator, he calls the plays here, Bill. And I tell you, I just have a lot of respect for that man and his offensive capabilities.
Winning the Frank Broyles Award as the Assistant Coach of the Year nationally last year. So when your team wins, those honors flow, and he's very deserving of that.
No doubt about it.
1st and 10. Ball on the 17 for UNT. And North Texas, a valiant first half, down 11, but facing a roaring crowd. Hall will silence him with this little run. As he slices his way to just shy of the 25-yard line where Teddy Lehman met him.
Good blocking at the point of attack by the North Texas offense. Hall just comes around and everyone locks up very well up front for him. He gets a nice gain for the Mean Green. See the seal block there, and Scott Hall just kind of picks his way through there. Teddy Lehman from his middle linebacker spot has to track him down.
Pickup of 7, 2nd down and 3. Inside 3 minutes now. Marshall and Howard to the top of your screen as receivers. All with Galbraith, the lone back behind him. Unloads, nearly picked off as they had sandwiched Marshall down there. And in on the play for Oklahoma, number 10, Quentin Morgan, redshirt sophomore from Denton. Transfer from the University of Washington.
Well, the pressure comes here. The Sooners get in. Galbraith does a nice job of blocking here. As you see the play unfold, he's going to dump the linebackers. That Williams coming in there doing a good job of cutting his feet out from under him. Still gets pressure on Scott Hall.
footprint. Galbraith. Very close to the first down for North Texas. Kevin Galbraith.
Making the tackle, Dusty Dvorak.
Dvorak making the stop for Oklahoma. JC Kalmus crew, and they're going to bring out the chains for a measurement.
You mentioned Dvorak. He's another one of those young players that are playing very well inside defensively on the defensive tackle spots here for the Sooners.
Yeah, the coaches cannot help but smile when you think of, yeah, Kalmus will be leaving, but when you've got freshmen like Harris and Dvorak that have become so dominant so quickly, and then a backup end, Jonathan Jackson, they're very high on here as well, freshman that is from Houston North Shore that can only get better is the way they look at it. First down, and it's 1st and 10 now. At the 27 after the measurement, giving it to the Eagles. Hall rolls out, in trouble, and throws it away. And OU fans say, now where's the grounding here? Where was the receiver on that play? You see Bob Stoops going, come on now.
Well, you call it one way, he wants to get it called the other way. Not going to happen here on that play. But I'll tell you, Scott Hall, watch him here. He becomes part of a triple-decker Sooner sandwich. We get 3 guys, 1, 2, 3, pop, 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 boom, boom, boom. Scott Hall.
Digesting that pregame meal. Oh, my goodness.
Bob Stoops politicking. Hey, what about that? What about that call? Come on, come on. Who's it going to?
2nd and 10 at the 27. Galbraith. Nothing doing there. It'll be 3rd and long for UNT. Yeah, Hall might say to Coach Stoops, hey, I got crushed, all right? We don't need a penalty, too, on that deal.
Well, let me take a break is what he says, actually. Defense gets inside there. Good job. They're good penetration. The defense, Teddy Lehman coming over from his linebacker spot, and Rocky Kalmus. Those 2 guys are going to make a lot of plays this year, Bill.
1:51 to go before the halftime break. Bob Stoops and the Sooners with a 21-10 lead, and OU on target for another big year. Wow, look, it's just the awards, the Coach of the Year honors that came his direction last year, and how could you argue with it? With Oklahoma, one of the things I liked best about it was no complaints from Oklahoma. The Red October with a stretch of scheduled games, then having to play Kansas State again in the Big 12 championship game, and then having to go down and play Florida State for the national title. There were no easy steps for OU last year, and all the way along, Stoops was never one to say, hey, we shouldn't have to play a championship game. Now he's just saying, I want the rest of them to join us.
That's exactly
Every
right.
conference play a championship game.
Well, he'd like to have that opportunity come. But, you know, what goes with winning a national championship for that head coach, February and March, he was one busy man. He had to go out on the road and all these commitments, all these different appearances he had to make. Finally, he had to say enough's enough. They put a stop to all that. They even had to stop autograph requests at the office because there were so many things being sent for the players to sign. When you win, there's some good things that happen, and you also make it kind of tough on the players and their time.
Had to just say no. 3rd down and 8 now for UNT. Galbraith looking for a crease. OU stuffs it. Lehman, Straight, a couple of others were right there to make the stop. Jimmy Wilkerson also in on the play.
Yeah, you'd think North Texas might try to pass the ball in that situation, but really what Daryl Dickey says, hey, we're going to go ahead and take the safe dive play off the left side. Don't do anything stupid or foolish to allow OU to get a lot better field position. Going to rely on their punting game to try to make them go the long field here with 1:45 remaining in the half.
Yeah, pretty sound thinking. I think North Texas
hey, they've executed tonight, Bill. They've moved the football on the Sooners. I think they kind of caught them by surprise. Daryl Dickey's got a good game plan together. He's brought it in here. They've executed. When they came in here, they decided, hey, we just want to try to compete with this national championship football team. We're going to bring something away from this game. It may not be a win, but hopefully we can win in some small facets of the game, and they'll build on that as the season goes along.
Dickey, who's been an assistant on a number of places, SMU, UTEP, LSU, Mississippi State, Memphis, Texas A&M, and trying to build this UNT program and doing a heck of a job hanging with the Sooners tonight. 4th and 5, and another near block, but it has gotten away by Ball, and flag is thrown at the 35-yard line, where Oklahoma ends up on the return. It was Curtis Fagan.
You might have a little intermittent face mask there. A missed tackle, but I think he may have got his hand up around the face. We're going to call an illegal block on the return.
OU 301 yards of offense tonight.
Interference against the kicking team. The 2-yard halo was violated. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Time of possession has been North Texas' favor so far, with 15 minutes to 13-12. So UNT has done a pretty good job of keeping its defense fairly fresh. That's got to be one of the concerns of Daryl Dickey, is that his club doesn't just wear down as this one goes on, although they have some depth on that side of the ball. Let's see what OU can do in the final 136. 1st and 10. Hibble. Yeah, that's what they can do. Norman leans across the 30 of the Mean Green. And Hibble, the lone interception, but he has just been on target tonight.
That's a good route that time by Norman, coming inside and catching the football. Ball security, they wanted to catch those footballs tonight. The Sooners have not dropped any passes. A week ago, had a few slip through their hands, and they worked very hard on that this week, as Mick talked about earlier in the ballgame.
Hibble now 15 of 18 for 190 yards. Incomplete this time, as he goes 15 of 19. Well, last week in the Air Force game, Hibble came out, struggled early, 4 of 12, then hit 10 of his next 19.
Well, Nate just kind of gets lucky here. I'll tell you, if that cornerback comes up and sees the football, he's going to take that the other way. And Quentin Griffin, neither one of them really saw the football coming. Nate Hibble just kind of laid that out there, expecting his receiver to be right there to catch the football.
Yeah, it's Don McGee. There he is, as he was there lurking. 2nd and 10 from the 29. Hibble, plenty of time. To the 20-yard line, and out of bounds is Trent Smith.
And I think he grabbed the first down as well, Bill. Good job that time, coming, dragging all the way across the field. Don't have to get it all at once. They got plenty of time to work the clock, and does a nice job of getting out of bounds and also moving chains. Nate Hibble stepping back and reading the defense. He's going to take what they give him. He sees his big tight end, who seems to be his favorite target tonight, coming across the field, and smart play here to get out of bounds.
Tackle made by Cougar McBride. Does not have a brother Panther nor Wolf. 1st and 10, ball on the 19. Hibble, great protection again. And Clayton catches it, and he steps out of bounds at the 12-yard line. First grab of the night, I believe, for Claiborne, rather, as Oklahoma, with 1:07, getting the clock stopped.
Well, I think if Oklahoma wanted to tonight, Bill, they could line up and pass the ball every single down, and North Texas would have a real difficult time of slowing this offense down. Nate Hibble seems to be in the zone. You see his numbers there on the night. 17 of 21. That's pretty good production by this quarterback.
Mark Clayton with that reception and staying corrected. Hibble throws it away. Looking for Norman. 1:04 to go here. And it'll be 3rd down now. And Hibble was saying one of the things that has made him able to relax is that he knows he's got Duncan sitting over there, who is perfect on the year. And he said, we almost feel like we got 3 in our back pocket about the time we get to the 30 on in. Let's see if he gambles here or plays it safe on 3rd and 2. Showing blitz. Hibble trying to dump it to Griffin. As coming on from the secondary that time, where the linebacker Taylor Casey.
I think Taylor actually got a piece of that ball and made it kind of squirt away from was he throwing it to Griffin. It's kind of a tough thing to do when you're blitzing off the outside, is make the decision of whether to continue all the way to the quarterback or kind of slow down and jump. And that time he jumped up. They're going to have to rely on the field goal as Tim Duncan comes on to try the 28-yard attempt, Bill.
Yeah, Duncan, who's 5 of 5 on the season, and trying to make it a 29-yarder. No good.
Well, that's the second one he's missed tonight, Bill. He missed one earlier.
Yeah,
from
sorry,
about
5 of 7
yards,
now.
And now he's pulling the ball a little bit to his right side when he comes across. Something just got to correct. The man has a world of talent. I watched him out there warming up tonight, and he's got a lot of upside on this. Let's take a look at the snap here from ground level. Good job there. Gets it down and up. Comes through, and just the ball just carries a little bit from the left to right.
Yeah, and Bob Stoops mentioning that they're really trying to work with him on, his leg is stronger. But he said, we'd like those 50-yarders once in a while, but mainly we're going to get those late in a half.
Well, that's got to be automatic.
We want these to be automatic, and they have been until tonight. So UNT inside a minute, 1st and 10. And looking content to run out the clock. Oklahoma has no timeouts left and no reason to call them, certainly in this situation. UNT has 2 if they want to use them. But they'll let the clock run here. Most likely that means another running play, and that'll take care of the first half. As there's been some things that have been very impressive about Oklahoma in rolling up the 11-point lead, and one of them is the yardage total, 350 yards of offense.
Nate Hibble's numbers are also superlative, except for the one interception. Done a really good job. I think he's 17 of 21 or 18 of 22. Those kind of numbers. And it's a good job of production by the quarterback.
Galbraith. All knew he was coming that time, and Barry Holloman led the charge, a senior out of Putnam City North, to make the tackle, and that will be the final play of the half. So Oklahoma, with a 21-10 lead, has missed 2 field goal attempts, but a pair of touchdowns from Griffin and one from Works has offset the Marshall touchdown reception from Hall and Ball's 38-yard field goal that was set up in the opening series on a 58-yard pass to Jamel Branch. And OU with a 21-10 lead. Mick Cornett is standing by with head coach Bob Stoops.
Coach, your comments on the first half?
Pretty sloppy. They're doing a nice job controlling the ball a little bit, hit a big play on us. Offensively, we've driven the ball several times, come up with no points, missed a couple of field goals, and don't convert on 3rd down to keep the drive going. So we got to be sharper.
You gonna make any changes?
No, hopefully we just execute a little bit better.
Good luck, Coach.
Okay.
All right, Bob Stoops.
Thanks, Mick. Thanks to Coach Stoops for his cooperation as Oklahoma, sloppy or not, up 11. It's halftime, and when we come back, we'll visit with the Oklahoma Athletic Director Joe Castiglione. Stay with us here on Fox Sports Net.
Back on Owen Field with North Texas coach Daryl Dickey. Coach, what'd you tell your team at half?
Well, we're hanging in there. They're awful fast. We've got to tackle better. They're getting some plays out in the open field, and we've missed a few tackles, and we just got to hang in there offensively. Last 2 series, we didn't make anything happen, and we're going to have to control the ball some and make some plays and pick and choose our times to go for some big plays.
Do you feel like you've got their attention?
Well, they're a good football team, and they always play well at home, but I'm proud of our guys for hanging in there, but we got 30 more minutes to play.
Okay, Coach.
Thank you.
Daryl Dickey, North Texas coach, up the stairs.
Thank you very much, Mick. And again, appreciate Coach Dickey stopping by. And I certainly think they've gotten their attention here tonight with a 21-10. And a lot of people wondering, just a big question, would OU shut them out? Well, that was stopped right from the beginning, Gary.
Well, I tell you what, North Texas, when they came out and they had that one reception, big play to set up a score early in the ball game, I tell you, that did get the attention of the Sooners and the Sooner fans here. But the offense for Oklahoma, Bill, was the big thing in the first half. They amassed 350 yards of total offense, and that's the big story here tonight. And the way that methodically, they moved the ball methodically down the field, running the football and balance and passing it. Nate Hibble really showed me something here, that he has some poise, the tools, the ability. A lot of question marks about him coming in here, whether he'd be able to translate into the quarterback that they need to return to the national championship. And Mark Mangino, hey, he's got a lot of confidence in that young man. Going to put him out there, and he's happy with the decisions that he makes throwing the football. He does have the one interception tonight, but completing 14 out of 17 is pretty good numbers.
Yeah, can't argue about that. In fact, I'm sure Bob Stoops is probably scratching his head a little bit thinking, we get those kind of numbers, don't make a lot of mistakes, but don't get into the end zone like they should, and then you throw in the 2 missed field goals to go along with it. Let's take a look at some of the other numbers here, and you'll see the offense has certainly been in charge, as UNT was 72 rushing. Oklahoma's nearly doubled them there.
Well, one of this is 72 yards here rushing for Oklahoma by Ronaldo Works. He comes in and spells Quentin Griffin on one play, and boom, he goes to the house on a long run. So half of that is one play from the offense of Oklahoma, but the passing yardage done very well there. A lot of guys catching the football tonight, Bill. They distribute that football, and they hope to do some more of that in the second half.
All right, Oklahoma here on the kick return, as Jason Ball will kick it off, and Curtis Fagan, number 12, lining up. And the short kick, and OU going to get great field position here, as the Sooners will take over 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line of Oklahoma. And you're asking for trouble if you continue to give this team that kind of field position.
Well, this is twice now that they've decided to kick it short. The first time was a rocket kick, a sky kick, where they just fair caught it, but the Sooners just grab the ball, get down.
You think he's kind of a near onside type?
No, I don't think they're
catch you off guard there a little bit.
No, not try that. They just want to be conservative. They don't want to allow him to get a big play in the kicking game.
Griffin twisting and squirms his way through for about 5. And making the tackle for North Texas, Brad Castle. Castle, when you look at his numbers, kind of mirrors Rocky Kalmus, and yeah, certainly a different level, but an excellent player in his own right. 115 tackles last year, 112 as a sophomore. And this was a guy that was a high school quarterback at one time. 2nd and 6 for Oklahoma. Hibble with a pump fake and batted down, nearly picked off by Taylor Casey.
A couple of balls Casey's knocked down, and quarterback has to account for that guy right in front of him. He's got to be able to get in around him or get him through it. He's got to realize he's there. I think that ball almost hit him in the chest.
Be 3rd and 6 for Oklahoma, 14-11 to go here in the 3rd period.
3rd and 6, number 47.
See what Hibble and company come up with. Great protection again from that front, and off the fingertips. I don't know if Spencer touched that or Trent Smith. I think both felt they should have had it. Brandon Kennedy was in pressuring.
Spencer does a good job of breaking in front of the tight end Smith, who came across the field and decided to work back to the middle. Nate Hibble tried to feed it to him, but good job that time by the linebacker stepping in front and almost got himself an interception.
And Oklahoma will bring on their all-conference punter for the first time tonight, Jeff Ferguson. Last year led the league at 43.9, and averaging 46 a kick this year. And the touchback will give North Texas the ball on the 20 following the punt by Ferguson. Well, not much of this crowd is left despite a heavy shower and the possibility of more on the way, as it's been closer than they would like. 21-10 Sooners, 3rd period, 13:58. And Hall and company with the 1st and 10 from their 20 on the opening series of this half for the Mean Green. Hall with a rollout and the completion to the 25-yard line as Dustin Dean, a senior from Sunnydale, Texas, Sunnyvale, Texas, rather, makes the play. Roy Williams, the stopper on the defensive side for Oklahoma.
High percentage plays completion-wise for Scott Hall, the quarterback, getting out to Dustin Dean. Little play-action pass to get him out in the flat, get him open. Good execution that time. They're just going to force the defense to come up and make a stop and make a play. Got a good gain, though, 5 yards on first down, Bill.
Dean, not much playing time in his first 3 years, mainly a special teamer at UNT. Makes it 2nd and 5, the ball on the 25. And out of the shotgun this time for sophomore Scott Hall. Out in the flank, and it is complete, but after the bobble, not much gain for Jamel Branch. Branch, you might recall, scampered 58 yards with the opening pass play that set up UNT's field goal. Roy Williams made the tackle on Branch this time.
Well, the speed of Roy Williams is just amazing. He just gets the ball, gets out to the ball so quickly from his inside-out spot and makes good, sure tackles in the open field.
Yeah, that hit me when Daryl Dickey said to Mick about, boy, they're fast. That's the one thing that you really can't see on tape or film, isn't it?
That's exactly right. When you get on the field, the game speed is a lot different. You can't emulate that in practice.
3rd and 4 from the 26. In trouble and a sack. Oklahoma gets to Hall. Tommy Harris, the big freshman out of Killeen, Texas, 6'3", 275, and he gets the sack.
Well, when we talked to their offensive coordinator and their quarterback coach, Ramon Flanagan, he told us that Scott Hall would have to make a decision when he plants his back foot. He's got to make that decision to get rid of the football. If he hesitates, Oklahoma's going to get there. That's exactly what happened. Good job, good rush at time inside by Tommy Harris.
Yeah, Hall had been able to avoid that for the most part in the first half. 4th and 12, and Ball to punt it away at the 48, and making a man miss. Still on his feet. Look at this return for Oklahoma. And finally, the stop is made. Looked like it was going to be next to nothing. And the great return that time by Curtis Fagan.
Curtis Fagan shows that he's got some moves in the open field.
Fagan sets OU up in great scoring position on the 34-yard return. We'll be back with first down. Oklahoma with the field goal, good by Duncan, and ups the lead to 24-10. Let's go down to our sideline man, Mick Cornett.
I'm with Oklahoma wrestling coach Jack Spates. What a great tradition the wrestling program has.
Well, yes, Mick. Actually, it's one of the great traditions in America. There are 7 team NCAA championships, 63 individual NCAA champions, tons of Olympians. There's a lot of tradition and a lot of pride.
You've got 4 returning All-Americans.
Yeah, it's a great year for us. 4 out of the 5 All-Americans return, along with 10 national qualifiers, so we're real excited.
All right, what do you think of the game tonight?
I think I got my money on the Sooners.
Would you like to have Quentin Griffin on a wrestling team?
I think we could use a few of those guys, and I'm sure they'd like to have some of ours.
All right, Jack, good luck this year.
Thanks so much.
All right, Sooners are ranked number 3 in the country in wrestling.
Thanks, Mick. And yeah, Jack Spates doing a nice job here at Oklahoma restoring that great wrestling tradition. The kick not returned by Branch as he downs it, and Duncan does his job again here after hitting the field goal to make it a 24-10 ball game. Bill Lamb, Gary Reasons, Mick Cornett with you. And that capped off just not really a drive, but it came via the turnover after the fumble by Marshall on the pass reception.
Well, those are important things. Whenever you get a turnover, you want to turn those into points. Good job that time by the offense. Moved it down into field goal range and executed with Tim Duncan.
Marshall at the top of the screen, Howard to the bottom on a 1st and 10 for UNT on its own 20, down 14. Marshall in motion for a moment. Fake to Galbraith. Ball rolls out. Throws it away. No flag. I don't see a receiver over here by me.
Rocky Calvis is even back there with the official talking to him about it. You know, he's right there by the quarterback, and he spins around, and he sees no receiver near him.
And there's brother Mike Stoops, who can be even a little bit more vehement about his expression. He's just done a fabulous job here as the defensive coordinator, and it's just a great group that gets along and works so well together, and it carries on down to the execution of the team. 2nd and 10 from the 20. Hall hands to Galbraith, keeps his balance and spins across the 30 and got the first down. Yeah, to the 31-yard line.
Good job that time by the North Texas to open a hole inside for Galbraith, and they're going to force the free safety to make an open field tackle. Watch number 7 here. That's going to be Brandon Everidge come up, and he's going to flag him. What I mean by that is he's going to put his shoulder in there, and he's going to miss completely on him. Going to see him there. He's trying to block tackle. You have to wrap up when you come from the secondary, make a good open field tackle. Everidge didn't get the job done that time.
1st and 10 at the 31 for UNT. Out of the shotgun this time. Mean Green doing a little bit of everything tonight. They pitch it to Branch. Looking for a block. Stopped at the 35. And good job by the OU defender, Roy Williams, to shed that blocker and make the stop.
Well, that's just speed on the defensive side of the ball for the Sooners. Go ahead and stretch it out. They're going to try to pass it to the outside, but the defense is just too fast. And then you take these plays, throw them behind the line of scrimmage, and before you know it, you're going to have the defenders right there. You see Teddy Lehman coming from his inside, and Williams just fights off the block to make the play.
Williams, turning All-American, came in here with 15 tackles in the year, 4 for loss, a sack, a couple of breakups. He is literally everywhere on this OU defense. 2nd and 6 from the 35. Marshall in motion. Ball hands off to Galbraith. Slips a tackle, but someone came in with a big hit. Derek Strait, Everidge was there again. I think, yeah, those two guys.
Brandon Everidge had a game a week ago, Bill. 12 tackles in that game against Air Force. He came up and filled the run very well, and he's showing that as a free safety, he can come up and take it. Watch him here fill from the backfield and defense. Take a listen to it.
Brandon Everidge. Yeah, Strait and crew had him low, and then he popped him high on the pads. 3rd and 5 for the Eagles. Hall keeps trying to get the first down, and Oklahoma, I think, held on. As Kalmus was there, couldn't quite wrap him up, but he just tugged him down. And there you see some of the strength. And Kalmus, too, has gotten stronger. He suffered through so many injuries, playing with a broken thumb, a broken bone in his leg 2 years ago, and I mean, he's scary that way. Think when he is healthy and strong.
Well, I tell you, when he came here, he's gained 35 pounds since he came to the University of Oklahoma. His bench press has increased 50 pounds. His vertical jump has increased 4 inches. So Rocky Kalmus has become a better athlete since he's came here.
Fagan deep on the return on the punt from Ball. Takes it for the 24, dances, needs an opening, and Fagan to the 30, turning the corner. Curtis Fagan. And again, another terrific return as he takes it to UNT country at the 40. And there's a flag. That's got to be a face mask. And hopefully he's not hurt too badly.
Yeah, he was spun around pretty viciously at the end of the play there. You can get a whiplash from that. That's kind of an injury that spins your head around very quickly, and your body and your weight's going one way. But if they get that face mask and grab it, it can be a real awesome type of an injury.
Don McGee with the tackle, and let's see if he was the culprit on the face mask. Here's Fagan.
Good setup there with his blockers, fakes him inside and turns to the outside. And you're going to see the pursuit come in here, and watch him grab and tackle up around the head. Fagan right there, and you see the face mask. That's what I'm talking about. You can get whiplash and pulled back. Good call by the officials, and hopefully Fagan's going to be okay.
Andrew Brewster, the 6'2", 250-pound redshirt freshman. There he is. Brewster from behind is the one that pulled it from the left ear, and Brewster is the one that gets tagged with a face mask.
He got it pulled pretty good. His whole body was going one way, Bill, and the hand pulled him back the other way. And I'm glad to see him hop up like that. He might be a little sore in the morning.
Yeah. Good hand from the OU fans as Fagan with another fabulous return and setting the Oklahoma offense up in great field position. The tack on the penalty, and it's 1st and 10 at the 25 after a 36-yard return. The previous one was 31, I believe. So Oklahoma in great shape again. And the Sooners riding the best winning streak in the country at 15, up 14 points here. And yeah, they know a little bit about that around here with Bud Wilkinson with a 31 and 47. And Barry Switzer's unbeaten string from 72 through 75.
And now with Bob here, they're calling the 3 Bs. You got the Bud, the Barry, and the Bob. 3 guys doing a lot of good things in this program.
7 national titles among them. OU bringing it back as Savage is stopped at the 21, and a flag thrown there as well as one in the backfield. Multiple flags here and different calls, I got a feeling. So there you see the initial holding against OU.
Well, you've got the reverse play, and Savage is going to come across. But watch over here as they get out on the front of the play. You have to hold your blocks a long time, and that's what the penalty is going to be here. You're going to get a penalty right up here. You got the holding going on. Actually, kind of hog ties him and pulls him down. That's a long block. Going to reset the clock here to 4:20. I don't think Bob can dispute that one. He's trying.
Yeah. Well, Coach Stoops knows the season clock is ticking with the win over North Carolina and Air Force. North Texas here tonight, Tulsa next week, and then the start of Big 12 play, and leading it is K-State in here. The screen, and Griffin, 20, out of bounds near the first down. And Quentin Griffin showing it running last week with over 200 yards, showing it receiving this week. Leading receiver tonight.
Well, when you're a defense and you have to defend the outside pass against the Sooners, you have to defend the running game inside. This might be the toughest play of all to defend, and that is a nice little slip screen to Quentin Griffin. Get behind those big offensive linemen who have done a good job of getting out, playing on the outside, doing a good job of blocking for him. It's been a big play for the Sooners this evening.
He's over 100 yards receiving tonight. 8 catches, 104 yards after getting 22 on that one. I mean, what a weapon. 11 carries on the ground for 52 yards. And a timeout is called here by North Texas. The Mean Green want to talk it over with Oklahoma knocking on the door, 1st and 10 at the 13.
Well, Mark Mangino hasn't called anything really exotic tonight, Bill. Anything not normal that's in their playbook. They've got a lot of core plays. They don't have a lot of exotic plays where they're going to try to fool the defense or just get them in situations where it's a tough thing to defend. What they do is they try to execute, and their game plan has been pretty vanilla, pretty basic. Hand it off inside, pass it to the outside, distribute the ball like they talked about doing, and they've done a good job of that. Nate Hibble's done a good job of finding both his tight end and Quentin Griffin.
And Mangino in the huddle there with the OU hat and the helmet. And somebody was missing from that little session. They may be missing for the next play.
One thing Mark Mangino is really a stickler on is fundamentals. He really wants to get back to the basics on every situation. He talked about practice. Every week they practice and they go live one-on-one, which means the offense and the defense go against each other in a live session. And they improve that way because they feel like, hey, they got the best group on defense. We maybe have the best group in the area and the conference on our end. And they just get better each week. But to do that, you have to work hard, and he wants to get the fundamentals, especially with his offensive lineman. He wants him to play with leverage, and you can tell, I think he can get his point across.
Fagan trying to loosen up that neck. OU comes out another timeout, and I thought just as they went on the field, Mangino seemed very upset, and they're forced to take a timeout here. And he's working on the official now, not his team. So they bring him back over.
Well, some of the things that happen on a timeout is they don't notify both sidelines that they're about to put the play back and set the play again. And I think that's what Mark was talking about there with the official. They didn't give him an opportunity to get his team back out on the field. They should notify him that the timeout is about to expire.
Yeah, that is interesting, Gary. Since we got a moment here about our time yesterday with Mark Mangino, we talked about play calling and how Chuck Long, who's the quarterback's coach, gives suggestions when asked. And Mark said because Mangino's also in charge of the offensive line, he said there are times when things can get kind of hairy here. And he goes, but make no mistake, he goes, I'm making the calls, and if it's a bad one, you put it on me. But he said there's a great rapport between he and Long, and their thinking and coordination of getting those plays in.
When he watches the football game, he watches it tackle to tackle. He wants to make sure that his big guys are doing their job because everything starts there. From there, he can watch the rest of the field. He relies on Chuck Long and his vision to see the whole field because Mark Mangino cannot.
to the play, and Griffin is brought down at the 10-yard line, did not get out of bounds. And how has Nate Hybl spread it around tonight? We talked about that at the beginning of the telecast as Craig Jones made the tackle here, as Hybl 21 of 31 for 251, and those 21 passes have gone to wide receivers, 7 for 95. The tight ends have made 5 grabs. I think all of those to Smith. And the running backs with 8 for 125. And Griffin has got those. And here's Hybl looking across the middle at the 5. Rolling. Did he get in? Nah, no signal yet. No.
He probably landed right on the 1-yard line trying to scoot in. Good job that time by Savage trying to adjust and get up the field. As soon as he caught the football on the little in route, tried to stop because he knew a defender was right in his way and turned back and tried to backpedal into the end zone, Bill.
Savage just missing. If he falls on the other side of his back, he might have gotten it. As Knowlton was covering on the play, Antoine Savage sets up a 1st and goal from the 1. And Hybl doesn't fool around, and Nate takes it in himself as the Sooners now stretch it out a bit. Oklahoma 30-10. Duncan coming on for the PAT.
Well, that's a big safe play that time by the Sooners. Go ahead and spread your offense out, take the sure thing, get behind the big offensive line. Do a nice job of getting the easy 1 yard for the touchdown by Nate Hybl.
Hybl, his 2nd score of the year. And Duncan for the point after. Jason White is holding on the play, and the whistles. Many penalties as we've had tonight. No surprise we get one in the kicking game here.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, retry. Dumbass, man.
15 penalties tonight in the two teams, Gary, and we still got 3:03 to go in the 3rd.
I'm sure neither coach is going to be happy about that.
So, tack it back to the 15, what becomes a 25-yard point after attempt. And another flag as Duncan splits the uprights, but hold it again here. Holding against Oklahoma. You see McGee applauding the call. That'll push it back another 5. And the crowd's about had enough too. Bob Stoops said, no, you don't need to explain this one to me.
Well, what they're doing is they're rushing from the top side of the field. They're trying to bring some pressure on the inside and get somebody free on the corner. Kind of a tough rush there. The wingman on the top is probably the one being called for the holding penalty.
Duncan, this time, a 35-yard PAT. No good. And it's 30-10 and stays there. With 3:03 to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, we got a moment here. Let's talk about some of the good stuff that's been going on around here over the years and just the number of awards that individuals have won. For example, the Heisman's with Vessels, Steve Owens, Billy Sims in '78, the Walter Camp trophies, and Owens and Sims. Heupel last year goes back to '56, and Jerry Tubbs, the great OU center. Brian Bosworth, who won a pair of Butkus awards that Kalmus is certainly the leader going into this year for, and certainly had damaged his result or his opportunity with his play so far this year. Lombardi, the Outland trophies.
Just look at the names, Bill. I mean, that's tremendous. The names and the legends that the University of Oklahoma has had and received all these honors, and very deservedly so.
Rocky Ricky Kalmus and the Sooners. And OU will kick it off up 30-10. Taken too deep in the end zone. And stopped at the 12-yard line. Nothing doing that time. Not a great decision by Branch. And guess what? We've got a flag on the play. Oh, that'll shock you at home. And 2:55 to go here in the third period. And they're going to march it back against UNT to the inside the 6-yard line. Duncan's miss, by the way, just his second on a PAT in the last 73 attempts, but put a little asterisk by that since it was more like a 35-yard field goal. While the crowd is going to spew its venom on the toward the officials, instead they'll just put it on UNT right now. Anytime they get them backed up in that end zone, let's see what happens. Last time in this situation, as Hall calls a timeout, OU got a fumble recovery after a pass reception. And North Texas going to take a timeout with 2:55 to go here. And let's send it down to Mick Cornett with a little bit more of info on Fagan.
Officially, the Sooner training staff not releasing any information, as is their custom, but Curtis Fagan is walking around, moving his neck around, seems to have some sort of a sore neck. He has put his helmet on a couple of times. He might return. He certainly looks like he wants to go back in.
Yeah, that's the case with most of these guys. That's part of the problem with injuries sometimes, because they all want to play all the time, and they know that the guy that takes the place, it might be like a Wally Pipp situation around here, because there is lots of talent sitting there on that bench. But I know they're not going to risk anything with Fagan.
Now that's going to be the thing. They're going to caution it. They look here at the timeout situation. A lot of time running off the clock here for North Texas. They've got to move the ball a long way now, Bill. It's on about almost a 6-yard line coming out. Scott Hall had to call a timeout there. He walked up the line of scrimmage, and there was 3 seconds left on the play clock. He knew he had to call a timeout, or he'd be even a little closer to his end line starting out.
Crowd gears up again. 1st and 10, the ball on the 6 of North Texas. They're down 20, trailed by 11 at the half. Right up the middle, and the second effort nearly gets him the first down, as Cobb's great effort, freshman from Tecumseh, Oklahoma. Patrick at 5 carries, 16 yards coming in. Nice job here.
Well, Cobbs does a nice job running the ball. Watch the safety here. Brandon Edwards come up and try to block tackle again. That's twice now he's missed, and both times the running back has done a good job of avoiding him. Safety's got to come up. They've got to square up, and they've got to wrap up. Brandon Edwards isn't doing that tonight.
Cobbs, who had 32 touchdowns his senior year as an All-Stater here in Oklahoma, gets the call again. This time he is met by Teddy Lehman and crew. Very close to the first down.
Well, Teddy Lehman showed that he's a pretty capable middle linebacker, does a good job of getting off the block and then making a good square tackle on the back coming through.
And they'll measure. Got it. So North Texas comes out of that din and will keep possession here. 2:12 to go in the third period. The Sooners, a pair of touchdowns from Quentin Griffin, one from Renato Works, one from Nate Hibble, and a field goal from Duncan, lead it 30-10. But North Texas being stubborn here. And the big hit at the 15-yard line. Williams again right there after the reception. No gain. In fact, actually a loss on the pass play.
Now this is a play that's actually designed for Roy Williams. A little screen outside. My speed's going to get there. That's what he says. Hey, I'll get up there and make this play. Receiver catches the ball. Actually, his knee's on the ground, but Roy Williams just finishes him off anyway.
6 foot 221. That's what the junior strong safety goes. 2nd and 11. The ball on the 15. Boy, you just feel something's going to happen here, that OU just seems determined to make some type of big play defensively. Inside Williams. And there's the pickoff. Roy Williams with the interception.
Well, Scott Hall tries to thread the needle, can't do it. They've got a little bracket coverage here. You're going to see Hall at the bottom of your screen. Got a receiver turning up outside, and quarterback thinks he's going out, but he comes back underneath. Good job that time by Hall. Rather of Roy Williams coming underneath and making a big play.
So, every once in a while, the feeling's right. And OU, with Williams answering it, makes the play. He's got 12 tackles tonight. And his first interception. And works in the lineup, but again, a flag.
Yeah, Josh Norman, actually one of the wide receivers at the top of the field, called a timeout, Bill. Had a misalignment there, and rather than taking the penalty, called the timeout.
Both teams with one timeout remaining, and in this type of game, it's really kind of rare that you would see 20-point game and both teams using timeouts. It's just been a sloppy night. There's no other way to get around it, even though there's been a lot of excitement in different plays, but the penalties, and there's been no rhythm to this game.
That's right. At times, there's been real crisp play for Oklahoma's offense. They move the ball very well, passing the ball, running the ball. But every now and then you kind of get a little hiccup in the road there, and a lot of penalties tonight on both teams coming out there and doing something a little bit wrong, and kind of slows everything down. You take a look at Roy's interception tonight, and 12 tackles. Been a very busy man.
Yep, and the tackle for the loss the play before, and you could almost sense that he smelled something coming, and he came right back and got the pick on the next play. And now the ball on the 28 with Oklahoma 1st and 10. Here's Works to the 25-yard line, picks up 3, 2nd and 7 coming up for Oklahoma. Inside a minute to go as Castle made the tackle, leading the way that time along with Condor for UNT. And the Sooners 2nd and 7 from the 25. 3 receivers come to the near side. Hibble. Across the middle and incomplete. Hit hard was Curtis Fagan. He was back in the game. And Fagan took a shot from Markeith Knowlton.
Well, this offensive line has done a pretty good job of protection so far for Nate Hibble tonight. Take a look here at the big right tackle. Did a good job blocking inside, but doubling up with Takawana. Came in and playing guard there. And the offensive line, they're big, they're strong. Mark Mangino wants them to play with leverage. He wants them to be punchers, not catchers. They want them to punch those defensive linemen away from them, keep them away from your body so they can't get around you.
Takawana, the redshirt freshman from Ardmore that's starting to emerge for this team. Across the middle, and it's complete inside the 10-yard line, and a flag is thrown. Smith on the reception for the Sooners. Trent Smith having a big night. His 5th catch of the night.
Well, he caught the ball despite the penalty here that they're going to call. Bill is kind of hanging on. Sure, they'll take the play. You're going to see your tight end come from the right side of your screen. Nate Hibble feeds him right there as he comes across. 2-level pattern here for the linebackers. 1 in front, 1 behind. It's tough to defend. Good job that time, and a little coverage there early. And Frank Romero, the left tackle, doing a good job. He's getting his hands out, good extension. Just needs to bend his knees a little bit more. Mark Mangino's going to probably talk to him about that. Play with leverage.
Well, Mangino also mentioned it was about Hibble having patience. I thought that last play was a pretty good example. He said so, had some underneath guys who were open, but he waited and got his man on the deep to throw. Works, spinning and driving, lost the football.
Well, sometimes it happens when you spin. Running backs, they do that. They get a little contact, and instantaneously they spin around, and somebody pops it on the football. Their hat comes in, and that one popped up pretty high, and the defense comes up with it.
Luke Condor, I believe. Yeah, sophomore out of Midland. He makes the play. And North Texas stops OU again and will get the football. Not a pretty position, but excited to get the football back.
You see here, Ronaldo works, big, strong guy. He's a lot different runner as he spins and trying to make more yardage. Comes from the backside. That's number 50
like
doing a good job.
That out. I don't think it was a hand. That was just a player tumbling whose back heeled it out of there. UNT, the good news, got the ball for the Mean Green. The bad news, it's first and 10 from their own 3. Stopped at the 5, got a pair, and that ends the third period. Third quarter comes to a close with Oklahoma a 20-point leader. It's 30-10, Oklahoma. Calmus and the Sooners back with the fourth in a moment. Welcome back. 30-10 is Oklahoma with a 20-point lead as we move into the fourth quarter. And one of the reasons, the great play of Roy Williams, the Oklahoma All-American free safety. The defense in general. The sack from Harris.
Calmus on the stop.
Back to the live action, 2nd and 8, ball on the 5. Marshall dropped the football.
Well, Tommy Harris got a hand on it, Bill. You're going to see the pressure inside here. Some more. Williams, what he's doing there on the outside, making the play, and now coming up with the interception. His defense is just one of those things where, hey, they come from everywhere, Bill. They got a lot of guys that can make big plays and continue to do it there. The young man, Tommy Harris, a defensive tackle, comes through on that last play, knocks the ball down as the quarterback throws it. The receiver can't come up with the grab.
3rd and 8 here with the Oklahoma defense, but on the field quite a bit tonight. Time of possession, North Texas 24-31, Oklahoma 20-29. And a timeout is called again. North Texas, they're done with timeout. So that's kind of scary. It'll really get ugly here in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's just miscommunication. They're not getting the play out of the huddle. It's communication from the sideline to the huddle, getting the play up to the line of scrimmage with enough time to execute. He keeps walking up there, and hey, we got down to 3-4 seconds on the 30-second clock, and he's going to call timeouts. He's burned them.
Well, let's take a look again at some of the OU tradition here as we've got a moment here as we start the fourth period. And certainly you can't talk about tradition of Oklahoma football without mentioning the great Steve Owens, who back in 1969 set a still-standing record of 358 carries for 1,523 yards. The real workhorse on a team where he scored 23 touchdowns. Went on to claim the Heisman Trophy. Fine career with the Detroit Lions, and of course, returned here to OU to become the athletic director from 96 to 98. Steve Owens. Quentin Griffin tonight, been doing it with the receiving end. 8 carries, 8 receptions, 104 yards. And Oklahoma, in fact, Gary, with their total offense through 3 quarters of 432 yards, is their best effort on the year with a quarter to go. But it has not been pretty. UNT faced with a 3rd and 8, the ball on its own 5. Complete, but short of the first down across the middle, making the reception Jeff Munchow, the junior from Converse, Texas. Everidge made the tackle.
They're still short, Bill, on the first down, so we're going to bring up a punting situation. We'll be surprised here if Oklahoma just really would pin their ears back and rush this punt pretty hard. See if they can make a big play.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Fagan back in the game as a returner.
The kick by Ball. Fagan will have an opportunity from his own 47. Slipped by a couple. Flags everywhere and stopped at the 45-yard line of UNT. And we'll sort it out again. UNT, 177 first half yards, 62 in the second half. So the defense is certainly stiffened for Oklahoma.
Illegal block in the back by the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
We'll take a brief break here. We'll see if they can clean it up here. Final 14-10. Oklahoma with a 20-point lead, 30-10. Oklahoma 30-10 leader, 14-10 to go in the fourth quarter. The Sooners have scored in a variety of ways and getting it done in different styles tonight, Gary.
Well, they passed the ball effectively. Nate Hibble's done a good job of distributing the football, and Quentin Griffin really has answered the call here, catching the ball tonight and running with it after the catch. They've got speed, too. You bring somebody in off the bench, none other than Ronaldo Works, who tromped 72 yards for the score. Nobody's going to catch him. Got enough speed in the backfield with either he or Griffin in there. And just makes some great plays here overall. Take a look here at the blocking to the outside. That's what frees Quentin Griffin for this score. And then the power and the blocking, the offensive lineman up front. Nate Hibble just gets in there behind his big offensive lineman for the 1-yard plunge. That offense can do it in a lot of different ways.
And as we start the play again, Oklahoma with Norman. Are there any flags this time? No. Touchdown Sooners. Josh Norman. Must have heard me. We said clean it up.
Josh Norman, a wide receiver, basically lining up in the backfield. They hand it off to him. Takes it right up the gut. Good job of execution that time. Got in behind his blockers, and the speed took over.
57 yards on the play as Josh Norman gets the TD. His first of the year. Last year, he scored 1 on his 31 receptions. And Norman now with 5 catches, 117 yards. And Oklahoma, the point after is good this time, 37-10 OU with 14 minutes to go.
Well, take a look here at Norman. He's going to come in here and get in behind the receiver screen. Do a good job of execution. Step up, come back, get the ball. And watch the blocking emerge out front, and he just kind of threads the needle, gets in behind his big offensive lineman. Then he gets the pursuit of the defense, over pursuing, and he takes it right down the heart of the field. And he shows the speed that he has as a wide receiver. And excellent job by the offense and putting another score on the points on the board for the Sooners.
37-10 Oklahoma as Josh Norman, and that exceeds his previous best. His longest play was 55 yards, and this one going 57, and Oklahoma makes it 37-10. And we'll kick it off with Tim Duncan. Taking it to 1. And stopped shy of the 15 is Patrick Cobbs. OU fans riding the crest of that national championship from a year ago and ranked number 3.
You guys know how to do it.
Yeah, getting after him here. All the tickets sold tonight, and tell you what, not a whole lot of left. Some folks screaming out now, but Bridges comes in, the new quarterback, senior from Grand Prairie, Texas. Richard Bridges, 6'3", 223.
He started the first couple of games last year for North Texas, Bill, and Scott Hall came in and played the remainder of the season. But this is a very capable quarterback. And
ball batted up in the air and nearly intercepted as Jackson, number 49, Jonathan Jackson, is the one that deflected it and almost intercepted it.
Well, that's the depth the Sooners have on the linebacker spot there. Jonathan Jackson plays basically both sides. He's able to swing over and does a nice job at time, knocking one down.
At North Shore High School in Houston. 7 pass deflections his senior year. Well, now you know why. Long arms came after him. 2nd and 10 to the 14 is Bridges. Hands it off, and nothing doing again as Cobbs is trying to stretch it out, and he meets Lehman and Moore.
Brandon Moore shows that he's ready to play too. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities tonight, but jumps in there and makes a nice play. Watch him scrape from the right side here. Go ahead and take on the tight end. Use his hands, split the blockers. Do a good job getting the backfield. You can't draw it up any better than that as a defensive end.
3rd and 15 now. The ball on the 9. Moore gets a breather. Wide receivers go to the top, 2 of them, 1 to the bottom. And you see UNT just 1 of 10 in 3rd down conversion. Straight showing blitz. Bridges rolls the other way from the pressure. Unloads it, completes it. And at the 22-yard line, should be short of the 1st down. Lehman was there to cover.
Well, North Texas, they roll away from the blitz. The blitz is coming from the left side of your screen, and Bridges does a nice job getting outside and delivers this ball. Going to bring up a 4th down and a couple of yards. He needed to get a couple more steps there.
Fagan goes back to receive the punt from Ball. Denton Sr. again just gets it off, and Fagan dances by 1, and then good pursuit that time as following up to make the tackle for UNT, number 11, Scott Hall, I believe, was in. Or 81, I beg your pardon. We'll take a break here with timeout call. 37-10 Oklahoma here in the 4th quarter as the Sooners line up 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Nate Hibble still calling the shots. And the draw play, never a chance to really develop. Quentin Griffin is stopped. Usually no gain on the play.
Not really surprised that Nate Hibble has, not being pulled out of the ball game here, because he just wants his offense to work. They want to get into a sync. They want to get some rhythm, and this is an opportunity to get that done. They've been sputtering at times, Bill, but sometimes when they put things together, they can move that ball effectively.
Yeah, and he's an inexperienced junior. I mean, that's they got to get him to go. Complete to the 45-yard line. Griffin on the reception. Casey and Castle make the tackle, and that doesn't mean that they still don't think the world of Jason White, Hunter Wall, and some of the others here, that it was a neck-and-neck competition between Hibble and White. But when they made the decision to go with Hibble, Bob Stoops has shown the confidence in him, realizing that he's got to play and play a lot if he's going to develop. And Hibble has been very sharp tonight. 25 of 36 for 340 yards. And with every completion, just more and more confidence comes along with it.
Well, that one bounced right off the chest of Josh Norman. Nate Hibble delivered it right on target, right on the numbers between the linebackers. And Josh is saying, I got to catch that one.
Ferguson will come on to boot it away on a 4th and 5 from the Oklahoma 44. And deep for UNT, you see number 23, Ty Jackson, in the snap. Ferguson trying to fall on it. Not going to matter anyway at this point, as UNT is going to get the football back. They're trying to prevent any type of return off of that box play.
Yeah, but that's going to be about a 50-yard swing in field position, Bill. At least you're going to get net 40 on the punt, but they go back 15 yards. And Ferguson, the ball is snapped very well back there to him, but he just tries to set the ball, and it squirts out of his hand. These little things drive a coach crazy.
Boy, the sloppiness just continues.
Well, watch the snap. It's going to be right belt high. Well, actually, he's got to go up a little bit forward. He's trying to bring it down and set it. Then he kicks it.
And Ferguson has done so well in avoiding some blocks this year and making some great plays. Cobb rolls to the 25 to the 23-yard line. And clock ticking with 11:19 to go as Patrick Cobbs, 2,354 yards his senior year at Tecumseh. 8 yards a carry in his All-State senior year. And Daryl Dickey says they plan to recruit heavily the Metroplex of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, and Oklahoma as well, being just 45 miles or so from the border. And a pretty good one there in Patrick Kyles. Flags everywhere on the 2nd and 5 call.
A little movement on the offensive line here.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
.10:52 remaining, and that'll make it 2nd and 10 now from the 28-yard line for the Mean Green. Richard Bridges, the quarterback. 2 starts in his junior year. Coming on in relief of Hall tonight. Sets up, knocked away, and nearly picked off. Once again, that was Jonathan Jackson. Similar play to the one we saw down near the end zone, Gary.
Very much a similar play. Jackson playing the defensive end spot on the left side, doing a good job of, hey, when the quarterback sets a throw, go ahead and get your hand up. You're not going to get there and continue to rush. Watch him here. He knows he's just got to get his hand up and get the timing, and it's a nice play. He gets the right bounce, he might get an interception on that.
Third and 10 now on the 28. So UNT, after getting the fumbled snap, yet to make anything happen. Now the shotgun Bridges this time. Got time, finds a man, delivers it, and it is incomplete. Incomplete at the 21-yard line. Would have been enough for the first down, but would have given them an excellent field goal opportunity. And again, remember, we're just talking about both these teams trying to improve. If you're thinking, well, why would someone worry about getting 3 down 27?
Yeah, Jeff Munchow, the tight end, worked inside of Teddy Lehman, the middle linebacker that time. Bridges threaded the ball pretty well, just didn't come up with it. Field position is key on 4th down here now, Bill. They're going to be a little out of range. They need to score anyway. A touchdown, at least. Try to pull this thing a little bit closer.
Darrell Dickey has some signals, and it's 4th and 10. They'll go for it here with Bridges under center. They came after him. Incomplete. Now intercepted. Williams. Look at the speed. The 50. Roy Williams. 10-yard line. There is a flag. Hold on to it. There is a flag. The celebration quieted. And the clip. Oh, gee, many Christmas.
Well, Roy's a little disappointed. There's no doubt about that. He gets the ball on the tip, got the speed to take it to the house. There's no reason if you're going to have somebody out in front of this, somebody has to block behind you and block below the waist. Now he's out in front of everybody. Why would you have to clip on this play? There's no reason you have to block anybody. Just keep running. He's out there. They're calling this behind back at the 35, 40-yard line.
So a 77-yard return, no. It's happened somewhere near the line of scrimmage, and yeah, the interception stands. So Williams gets his 2nd pick of the night. But yeah, that's really got to be frustrating for a defender like that to go in thinking. Here's Hibble, gotten all day. Just a second. Rolls out. Nate Hibble, incomplete. And a flag thrown. He may have crossed the line. I don't know. Nope, going to be holding against Oklahoma. Just going to say for Williams particularly, Gary, when he sees that situation, knowing, well, there's going to be a penalty here because there ain't anybody around me.
Oh, that's right.
I don't need any help this time.
Everything's behind him. He shouldn't get a penalty on that play, but it happened.
And now there's been 12 penalties. 105 yards totaled against OU. Well, many of the fans here, of course, are Dallas Cowboy fans, and they're probably hoping these guys aren't the replacement refs that are going to be down at Texas Stadium for the season opener tomorrow with Tampa Bay, are they? Maybe those guys will get their job back quicker than we think. Complete to Griffin. Quinton is tackled at the 22-yard line.
That play's been a good one from all night. The little slip screen to Quentin Griffin behind the line of scrimmage. Well defense that time by North Texas.
Castle and Spencer there to make the tackle. Had 21 penalties total tonight. This pay-per-view telecast, almost $1 a penalty. Get your money's worth, folks. 9:27, the clock ticking away here. Second now and 18 for OU. Hibble, the little shuttle, and nothing cooking there as tackle made about the 27-yard line. Jared Estes, Wichita Falls, getting his first action. Estes, 6'1", 180, sophomore. And it's 3rd and 17 at the 23-yard line. OU just 4 of 10 third down conversions. Here's Hibble. Gets away from one man and completes it as Smith, or is it Donnelly, makes the reception. That's Donnelly. Lance Donnelly gets his second grab of the night, and OU will have to kick it away as it's going to be 4th and 10 from near the 30-yard line. And Justin Claiborne made the tackle that time for North Texas.
Take a look here at the right tackle, Howard Duncan, and what he does on the outside. Good job, work his defender up the field and just stay with him. Don't allow him to come back, but Hibble steps into the line of fire and gets a hand on the quarterback. But good job that time by the big tackle.
Ferguson, a little high snap that time, but got it away quickly. Not much height. Line drive. And flag thrown again as the tackle is made around the 37-yard line. And Roy Williams making the stop. Ty Jackson was the receiving player. And this one is against UNT.
Illegal block in the back on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Think Mark Mangino thinks it's over yet? No.
No, he's down in there. He's going to get these guys fired up. He's going to correct them. He's going to coach them for the very, very last play. Take a look here at the play, see if you see the penalty. Yeah, there was a penalty right there. You got him right there on the middle of the field.
Boy, Williams just having an incredible night here. I mean, think if the interception had stood for the touchdown. 1st and 10, ball on the 23 for North Texas. And Richard Bridges again calling the shots for the Mean Green. Hand off to Cobb, stopped at the 25-yard line. Tony made the tackle. Well, North Texas, and I see now, talking to Daryl Dickey, his feeling about this team, and a pretty good one, Gary, that if they can get through this improving each week, and mentioning that they've still got Arkansas and Texas Tech to go as far as big name schools, that they're going to have a pretty good shot in the Sun Belt Conference, and they'll have some players that are missing now that should be back by conference time. Bridges on 2nd and 8. Drops it out of the backfield. First down to the 39-yard line as Cobbs makes the reception.
Well, we talked about North Texas coming in here, and make no mistake about it, there's 2 different levels of football teams here, one being the returning national champions and North Texas, which is basically their program is really emerging. But they need to come in here and gain some confidence and execute. And they've done a very good job, I think, of that, of doing that against a very talented Sooner defense. They've moved the ball at times. They haven't been perfect. But I tell you, I think there's some things that Daryl Dickey can bring back and show the guys on film and say, hey, we can do this against a national championship football team. Perhaps we can do it better even in the Sun Belt Conference.
1st and 10 on the 39, and the pitch to Cobbs. He's in trouble and not for a loss on the play. Who else but Roy Williams? Williams right there. Nobody fool on that.
And Roy came up hitting. He's holding his wrist that time. I hope he's not injured. Maybe a little stinger, that's all. I'm going to probably get him out of the game. just out in the open field, it's kind of a rare thing to have players that have enough body control to go in and make plays time after time, and Roy seems to have that natural ability.
His 14th tackle of the night. 2nd and 14 from the 35-yard line. Cobbs tried to turn around and said, I ain't getting anywhere here. And stuffed this time by Wilkerson, Jimmy Wilkerson. We talk about North Texas, that their 7th year in returning to Division 1A after being 1AA in the Southland Conference, and their 1st year in the Sun Belt. And they feel it's a better fit because many of the schools are at least much closer to Denton, like Louisiana Monroe, as well as ULala at Lafayette and Arkansas State. The western schools, Idaho and New Mexico State, go along with Middle Tennessee. 3rd and 18, ball on the 31. North Texas 1 of 12 in 3rd down conversions. Flag thrown, incomplete. The other thing about North Texas, their schedule as of today for next year, they open at Texas, at Baylor, at Alabama, at Arizona, at TCU. And that philosophy under the previous athletic director has been a direct change. They're hoping to remove a game or 2 of that or slide them back a year.
On the offense, the penalty is declined, 4th down.
Philosophy having been, you fund your athletic program by having your football team
get dismantled,
go get murdered on the road. And the new direction is, hey, we're going to have to do a couple of those because that's part of the real world of college athletics.
Well, the thing that's different, Bill,
but you got to have a chance to build a program and got to go out and fundraise as well and get support.
Well, now they're in a conference, and that conference championship will lead to a bowl game. The Sun Belt Conference has that established for them. So they got some little different goals set for that football team.
The punt on 4th and 18, and Fagan at the 33. Boy, he is slippery. And Fagan, nice return to get it to the 44-yard line. Picked up 10 on the return. 5:13 to go. Stay with us. New quarterback for Oklahoma, Jason White, calling the shots. Hands it off to Griffin on the 1st down play from the 44. And Griffin moves it to midfield. Picks up 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. There's White, sophomore from Tuttle, Oklahoma. And Bob Stoops, when asked by a lot of the media at the Big 12 summer meetings and talking about Hibble and White, didn't know who was going to start then. He said, what's the difference? And he said, well, Nate's a better golfer and Jason's a better basketball player. They're very similar. They're both big, strong guys that are excellent throwers, and White, and they're both virtually inexperienced as far as major college football. Just 2 games for White last year, didn't even get a chance to throw a pass. And they keep it pretty basic here as on the ground. Griffin beginning to wear down UNT, moves it to the 40-yard line, and that'll move the chains. And there is Jason White. This year 1 of 2 for 26 yards in the passing, and take a look.
Real similar, these guys, the quarterbacks, all of them, the good height, the good size, and real good athletes, all of them. And that's a credit to this recruiting program here that they have at Oklahoma. Happy to have any of these guys on the field. The thing about Jason White, the coaches have a lot of confidence in him. They say that he might take a little more of a chance throwing the ball, trying to stick it in there down the field than Nate Hibble might.
Pitch out, and rolling again is Estes, and flags everywhere after the whistle. And Jared Estes, nice pickup. Yeah, the other quarterback on that list was Hunter Wall, who is a redshirt freshman from Coppell, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Dead ball foul, personal foul against both teams. Will offset. 2nd down.
There's been some words said there, huh?
That, a little pushing, a little shoving, something. It's all post facto, though, and nothing really happened. That's Antoine, and
Savage is... And for North Texas, Priestley, the culprits on that call. Clock moving, and Oklahoma's 2nd down and 3 after the 7-yard pickup by Estes. He remains in the backfield behind quarterback Jason White. 3 wide outs to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. And Estes again, 30. Now near the 26-yard line, and that'll be a first down, Oklahoma, as Knowlton makes the tackle. You see White, and the other quarterback that the people are asking about, of course, is Brent Rawls, who is the highly recruited All-American out of Evangel in Louisiana, and coaching staff very excited about him. Not making any commitments yet as far as redshirt or not. A lot of that will depend on what happens to the guys in front of him, but they're very thrilled with what they've seen from him in practice work. And you're seeing what depth they've got at running back, where Works comes in and rolls off the 72-yard touchdown run. Now Estes coming in fresh and moving forward again here, picking up some nice yards here in the final minutes of this game.
Yeah, they get a lot of offensive linemen and some wide receivers in the game. This is an opportunity to get a little bit of experience. You never know what will happen down the road, Bill. Somebody may get dinged, and you have to put somebody out there, and this is the time that they're going to get some experience. And in a game like this, they might get thrown into the fire in one of the Big 12 contests coming up, and hopefully they'll be able to respond for you.
2nd and 8 at the 23 now for the Sooners as they lead at 37-10 here with 2:54 to go. Now the shotgun this time for Jason White. And completes it to near the 20-yard line.
That was Josh Norman's play again that he scored on earlier.
His 6th reception of the night. Taylor Casey made the tackle. And OU with 2 receivers over 100 yards. Griffin with 10 for 111. And Norman now with 6 receptions for 120 yards. And Hibble, assuming he's done for the night, 28 of 40 for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns and just 1 interception. Great night.
Can't be disappointed with Nate Hibble. Did a good job of distributing the football, made good reads, had the one bad throw on the interception, but overall it was a good night for him.
3rd and 5 at the 20-yard line. And good protection for White. Ball got tipped, I believe, as it goes out of bounds, incomplete. We'll stop the clock at 1:56. Oklahoma will have Tulsa next week, and that's also another pay-per-view game that will be available in the state of Oklahoma, as the Hurricane has the week off after a Thursday night win that they had before Labor Day over Indiana State. Here's the kick by Duncan, and blocked and recovered by North Texas. And that kicking game, which has been so good, has been so ugly tonight. Whether it be penalties or fumbles or bad snaps. Now a block as Castle came in to get that one. Castle stops OU from getting another 3.
You can see the pressure here. It's a low kick, but Castle comes right inside. He must have split 2 of the blockers up front. Does a nice job of getting his hands up in the point in front. And can't fault Tim Duncan on that. He's kicking the ball on timing, but the blocking was poor. There was a hole up front.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line for UNT and Bridges. Cobbs, 50, 45, missed tackle, and breaks one and takes it to the 36-yard line. Patrick Cobbs.
Terrence Sims, the free safety, comes over, Bill, and or the cornerback on that side, and he was going to come up and hit Cobbs, but his knee or right leg just went out on him. You saw him coming up on the play to try to make a play, and they're out there attending to him now. Tried to plant his right leg, it looked like, and try to cut back on Cobbs and make a play, but just couldn't do it.
It's Terrence Sims down. You know, injuries, you never want them, but you really hate them when they come in the final minutes of a game, Gary, where people are just playing it out. And
you'll see Sims here come from the left to the right of your screen, and his leg just gives out on him, and I saw him trying to make the play, and I've seen that happen a few times. Guys just for whatever reason, they're making a nobody touches him. It's just one of those things where he's trying to change directions, and the leg something gives, and he's wearing that knee brace. I don't know if it's that same knee, and he's been wearing that brace on it. Seems to be in quite a bit of pain, the young man.
Florida junior that came here from Hutchinson Community College up in Kansas. All-American there. And they were trying to limit Everidge in his time tonight because of being banged up a little bit. And now Sims, that doesn't look good at all. So Oklahoma's got some depth, but it will be tested now.
It's almost hear a pin drop here in the stadium. These Sooner fans all on their feet.
Taking him straight to the locker room as Terrence Sims is carried off. Not good. Hopefully not too serious, as Oklahoma will have to, as mentioned, Tulsa next week, and that's a pay-per-view game that is on Cox Cable and Cox Communications throughout the state of Oklahoma. And then they'll have a week off before they start Big 12 play with Kansas State. And then, of course, the game in Dallas against Texas. So next Saturday, Tulsa and Oklahoma. And call your Cox Cable outlet to order that contest. And Keith Burns has got that Tulsa team charged up. They're on a mission to turn it around and try to get a winning season for the first time in many years. Bridges with a completion to the 30-yard line. And Howard making the grab. And what's ahead for the Sooners? Well, let's take a look. We mentioned Tulsa, and then the week off before Kansas State, Texas, and at KU, and with the Big 12 where you play half of the North. This year they go to Nebraska and K-State here, where last year was just the opposite. And then you see A&M Tech and Oklahoma State to close it out. But flag thrown again. That Oklahoma-Texas game is always marked, but this year even more so with both teams so highly ranked, Gary, and I think also in light of what Oklahoma did to Texas last year.
Well, you've got three teams in the Big 12 Conference Bill in the top 10 in college football, and it's just exciting football. And then the matchups that are coming up are just going to be huge.
And Kansas State is the other one that is just out of that major group.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
And they're opening up at Southern Cal tonight and leading, in fact, to 1. Kansas State 10-6, the final, defeats Southern Cal. And Bill Snyder has caught a lot of criticism for his soft non-conference scheduling, and they've been victimized by that through BCS snubs and whatnot. And this year, went out on the road, paid off. So there's another feather in the cap of the Big 12. 2nd and 14 now on the 40 with 38 seconds to go. North Texas with the ball and Bridges in the shotgun. OU showing blitz. He unloads it, and the pressure was on him. Lehman was all over him. Also today, Colorado beat San Jose State 51-15. Baylor over Arkansas State 24-3. Iowa State blanking Northern Iowa at last check 45-0. Missouri bouncing back with Southwest Texas 40-6 in the 4th. Oklahoma State and Louisiana Tech were tied at 20 last time they announced it here. And Les Miles trying to move that program along. They're opening up a loss at Southern Miss. Here's 3rd and 14, and Bridges again with Lehman in his face. Just has to unload the football, stops the clock with 28 seconds to go.
Bill, you're seeing a lot of players out here for defense for the Sooners, and they've got a lot of depth and a lot of speed, and we talked about that at the beginning of the ball game. And a couple of players that really are the heart and soul of this defense are Roy Williams. Obviously, he's had a great night, and Rocky Kalmus, who played very well in the first half. And Rocky's still out there. He's a player. He doesn't want to come out of the ball game, I don't think. And Teddy Lehman did a good job inside of those linebacker spots. Teddy Lehman, with his speed, is going to be a player for a long time here at Oklahoma. He's going to make a lot of heads turn.
4th and 14, North Texas. Go ahead and try to go for it here, and Cobbs is tripped up near the 40-yard line. Oklahoma will take over with 23 seconds to go in the ball game.
Roy's on the sideline getting a little break. Had a big night. Almost had a touchdown. Got it taken away from him, but nonetheless, I tell you, he put some numbers up on the board and a great performance on the field.
And Oklahoma Another big night from Quentin Griffin, this time on the receiving end. 10 receptions, 111 yards, and 1 touchdown. And on the running end, 15 carries, 71 yards, and a score. Works 4 for 79 and a TD on the ground. And Hybl through the air, 28 of 40 for 350. 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, and a long of 57 yards to Josh Norman. Norman made the most of that. Here's Estes, speaking of making the most of things, as Estes just running out the clock. Goes to the 41-yard line, and his number's going to look pretty good when it's all said and done if he gets another one like that.
Well, they just keep rolling and keep putting it up there. We talked about it earlier that the talent level, I think, is a lot deeper at the University of Oklahoma. There's no doubt about that. The North Texas program is still emerging, and Bob Stoops, although there was probably a lot of good things he's going to take up in this ball game, the thing that he's going to concern himself is what kind of mistakes they made. But the big net of it is it's a 37-10 victory over North Texas, and he's going to go over and congratulate Darrell Dickey on a football game.
And Oklahoma, the third-ranked team in the country, 37-10, the winner over University of North Texas, and the Sooners move it to 3-0 with Tulsa next. Griffin and crew taking care of the Mean Green and shutting them out in the second half. North Texas drops to 0-2 following this, and they'll head to Arkansas next week as Oklahoma a little bit sloppy tonight, and just the same, they get the victory 37-10, and the ball game was never really in doubt here in the second half after Oklahoma was at 21-10 at the half. And Mark Mangino and crew got a feeling they're going to have a pretty good week of practice around here.
They're going to have a lot of practice. And
let's go down to Mick Cornett with
Oklahoma head coach Bob Stoops. Coach, what you think?
Well, it's always good to win, but it's hard to believe we did win as much as we did wrong. Set a record probably for penalties. Had, blocked field goal, drop punt. Just very, very poor. Again, it's we're fortunate to win, and hopefully we'll get better.
You feel like you took a step backwards this week?
Oh, sure. We sure didn't take one forward, that's for sure. So, we'll see. We got a lot to get on about and correct, and hopefully we will.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Mick. And Bob Stoops.
Sounds like they're going to practice tonight.
Don't think it took a mind reader to figure out what's going on in that guy's head, huh?
I tell you, he's going to win the locker room and set some things right. But there were some good things that they came with out on the field. They came away with, and that's what you want to build on. And hey, net is they're 3-0. They put up some pretty good points here, and a lot of good performances by the Sooners.
And that never satisfies. One of the reasons they went 13-0 and won a national championship last year. And you can bet Tulsa will know what's in store when they come down here next weekend. Hope you enjoyed it tonight as Oklahoma wins it 37-10 over the University of North Texas. For Gary Reasons, Mick Cornett, and our entire crew, this is Bill Lansing. So long from Norman. Once again, the Sooners 37, the North Texas Mean Green 10. Remember, next Saturday, the Sooners take on the Tulsa Hurricanes.